Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, coming to you live here. It is Super Bowl Sunday. On that being said, my favorite day of the year. Hope everybody is having, first of all, a great day. And second of all, it is Super Bowl Sunday. So no, I didn't shave the noggin. Got some little weeds up here and up on the side. This is lazy day, but lazy day also means lots of work getting ready to prep for the show and all kinds of things as far as that is concerned. Because yes, we're going to talk about the big game today. We're also going to be talking about some of the big things that are happening in the NFL, in the sports, and everything else as we have gotten a new setup for who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And we got a lot to talk about that, Super Bowl snubs and all that stuff as far as the big game is concerned. What does the NFL look like here in the future? Are we going to have fans in the stands, going forward after the Super Bowl? My understanding, there's going to be about 15,000 people in the stands for the Super Bowl. If not more, I don't know. We'll get an update up on that as we go along and ready to go. But lots of things that have happened as far as the game is concerned. Some, what do you think about this one? I mean, look who you got right here. That's Mr. Patrick Mahomes. That is the new GOAT that is coming out. And look who we got here. That is the GOAT. Okay, so you got the GOAT and the future GOAT looking and trying to bring either a seventh one for Tom Brady and or a second one for the young cat behind me right here in Patrick Mahomes. All right, so and lots of other stories that are going on. Gronk and Kelsey. If you had the opportunity to go back, not the last show, but the show before, I talked a lot about Travis Kelsey and what he means to this Kansas City Chiefs team and where they go. But where is the situation with Gronk and Tom? How is that all working out? That's going to be a lot of things. We'll also look at the defenses of these two teams as they're going to be ready to rock and roll and get going. The defenses are going to be a big thing here as far as the game is concerned. And I will also say this, just to let you know, when you look at a team that is set, I mean, this show right here could not be any better set as far as the competition is concerned and who's playing who, future GOAT against old GOAT. And so we got lots of opinions that are going to be out there. We're going to get, hopefully, Brian Tarvin will be joining us. Hopefully, Bryce from Brooklyn. And, of course, we hope we bring in the fine co-host of this program. Of course, that would be Cuervo, but I got on somebody different now. Let's do. That is right. Jim Obenauer joins us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show on Sunday morning. It is that being said, good to see you there, big man. What's going on?
Good to see you there, big guy.
Yeah, missed you for the last couple of weeks. I know you've been kind of busy, things to do, places to go, people to see, and all that good stuff. Good to see you. And I kind of accidentally gave you a homework assignment, didn't I?
You did. And I've been working. You did, and I've been working on it. And, and when you're ready, we'll dive into that.
Yes.
Just to let you know, Sonny, I could be here for about an hour today.
Okay.
Got another commitment. Got to got to make some food for a Super Bowl party. So
I'm in the process. I'm making a pot roast. So
right.
I literally just put in the vegetables for this thing because I've been cooking the meat already this morning. So I got the vegetables, got the potatoes in. So I'm all set and ready to go. Figured I might be on air for close to 3 hours. So, it is what it is. Here we are. Hey, it's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, is this year? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most people think Monday should be a holiday, but that being said, this is my favorite day of the year because it is. It brings the championship of both division or conferences together in the big game to decide who is the best. And lots of people argue, you shouldn't just have a conference and conference, but hey, that's the way it's been for the last 50 some odd years. Let's just keep it that same way. When you look at the playoffs and where they went and what you thought was going to go on, are these the two teams that you expected into the Super Bowl?
One of them is the Chiefs. The other team that I thought was going to be in there was probably playing the best football at the end of the regular season was the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Both teams were ranked. They were the highest seed in both conferences. Green Bay just. During that game, I was questioning some calls, or I was questioning some of the play calling.
Yes.
And when Tom Brady lit up the defensive back at the end of the first half, I was like, the Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Because you cannot let a receiver behind you at the end of the first half, especially when it's the old man Tom Brady.
Yes.
He's going to take advantage of that.
Yep.
And so, Tampa Bay, I don't know if they're even I don't even know if they were the second best team in the NFC. But it just goes to show you cannot count out the GOAT.
Tom Terrific, your favorite guy from the New England Patriots, your favorite guy, makes the Super Bowl yet again. This is his 10th trip. Okay, now think about this. I mean, there's 50, how many Super Bowl is this?
55.
This is number 55. He has been in 10 of 55. All right, so you look at those numbers, you look at where they are as far as how many times that this cat has been in the big game. I mean, he's been in there close to 20% of the time out of all the Super Bowls dating back to 1967. Yes, that's right. 1967 was the first one. I'm 1 year younger than that is. So that being said, I mean, this guy, first of all, finds a way to win. And think about this. In that game against the Green Bay Packers, Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. And guess how many points that were scored by the Green Bay Packers after those interceptions? Not a one. And let me tell you something. When you have a winner, even though your winner is struggling, let's be honest, he struggled in that game. Okay. But when you have a winner, that defensive side of the ball knows they can win the football game because of who it is. I mean, we can go back and you can take a look at it. And I asked Tom McManus this the other day when he was on the show. I don't know if he had the opportunity to take a look at that interview, but I know for a fact that players look at what is on the other side and go, why am I out here busting my ass when I can't even get this guy to complete a simple 5-yard out or even just, go straight down. Let's just book down the field, and he can't deliver the ball. When you got a guy that is known to be the GOAT and known to be the greatest, I mean, it's kind of easier to get out there to try to protect him and take care of him after a mistake, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's mind-boggling as many times as he's been to the Super Bowl. But you look at it, Sonny. You look at this. His first 9 times to the Super Bowl, who was his coach? Bill Belichick. And everybody was like, "Hey, you know what? Yes, the Patriots had a great run, and it was all about the system. And Tom Brady he's like literally a coach, out there on the field, and he is just." They talk about the system, but now Tom Brady goes to the Broncos or the Buccaneers. I'm sorry, sitting there, and he goes to the Buccaneers. His first year there, It's about, yes, it is about the system, but it's also about his IQ, his football IQ out there on the field. And hey, guess what? Bruce Arians is a great coach.
Yes.
Bruce Arians is very underappreciated, I think, in the NFL.
Yes.
And the guy is a smart man. He knows how to utilize the players he has. Look at his time when he was at the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Hey, the Cardinals were good when he was there.
Yep.
And because he was able to utilize the players that he had and put them into the point to where they were playing the best that they could in great situations.
Yep.
And he put his players in to succeed.
Yep.
And now he's got the GOAT. I mean, look at the coaches on the sidelines for today's game.
Oh yeah, good point.
These guys are masterminds.
Yep. Now, the only difference is Bruce Arians, he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring as a head coach. He's got a Super Bowl ring. Don't get me wrong. He's got a few of them, actually, when he was the head coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were winning some over there, but not as a head coach. But that Super Bowl, that game, Bruce Arians' experience, not only that, he went to the Super Bowl with the Arizona Cardinals as well, not actually winning it. So this guy knows exactly what's going on. The coaching is going to be huge in this game because I have heard, I make it a point to listen to radio these 2 weeks because you can hear the lunatics all day long. I mean, you're gonna have guys go out there and make the dumbest statements ever, but then you're gonna have some statements that will make you think. And all that is when you got a guy that has been there, done that, like Andy Reid. But we still hear sometimes, even coming from the quote unquote experts, is that maybe he's a little bit overrated. Maybe he gets his first Super Bowl. Shouldn't he have more? And then all these little these 2 weeks will bring stupid comments like that up and brought in. Listen, Andy Reid needed to win that Super Bowl last year to solidify him as a great coach. I'm sorry he does, because guess what? I look at greatness a little bit different than most people, okay? I thought he was always a good coach. Until you win that game, I don't think you become great. And, I don't think you become these guys that are beloved and loved, like they were before, the championship was put together as the Super Bowl. You could go back to, I'll just put it out there. Don Coryell not being in the Hall of Fame it's just a monstrosity. It's just a miscarriage of justice that should not happen. When Tom Flores gets in before Don Coryell, I just want to bang my head up against the wall. And but I will say this, as far as where guys that are going to go, and Andy Reid's he's going to probably find himself in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because if he doesn't win today, he still at least has one ring. He's been there 3 times. And so there's a lot to look at when you see a guy like a Andy Reid. Now, on the other side of it, talking about greatness and everything else and where they are, you have Bruce Arians. He needs to solidify himself in reality to be that guy to make it to the Hall of Fame. Because let's be honest, I don't think he makes it without a Super Bowl ring. As a head coach now, because he's got other Super Bowls, but as a head coach, do you see him getting there without the Super Bowl ring as a head coach?
I do not see him getting there without a Super Bowl ring. And I'll even say this much. I think he needs to, yes, he's been part of like an assistant coach for teams that's gotten to the Super Bowl. I think if Bruce Arians wins today, if the Buccaneers win today, I don't think that gets him into the Hall of Fame just quite yet. I think maybe he needs to get the team there a couple of more times, maybe another time, maybe and maybe prove that he can maybe get to a Super Bowl as a head coach without the GOAT.
Right. Exactly. And that's
good. And I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Bruce Arians will be in the Hall of Fame if he wins today as a head coach and he gets the team there again.
Got it.
Then he would be Hall of Fame material.
Well, yeah, listen, Tom Brady is supposedly Cuervo. Okay, if you want to, Tom Brady, he's on a 2-year deal. I mean, so he's out there. He's, in reality, supposed to play next year. So I guess maybe the question in reality is that, with him supposedly playing next year, if they get to another Super Bowl with Tom Brady, how does your thinking come when that scenario kind of works its way around?
Well, thinking is Arians is there.
Yeah.
Arians is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If he could get the Buccaneers in back-to-back Super Bowls, yes, it's with the GOAT. But hey, you know what? The GOAT, yeah, he throws the ball, but the GOAT is not catching the ball. The GOAT is out there. Yes, you be honest. I mean, any offensive coordinator is calling the plays, and they call a play into his little ear, and Tom walks up to that line of scrimmage and says, "This play's not going to work."
I don't think so, Tim.
So guess what? I'm going to make a play. I'm going to call the play. I'm doing an audible.
Yep.
That happens during the game.
Yes.
That it happens at least 65 to 70% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is a defense reading savant. I mean, in reality, he knows where to go with the ball whenever he needs to. He knows if he starts going one way, he's going to have a guy maybe tracing on the other side. As you've seen in the video that we were just showing, this guy was going off right. He ended up throwing that. And believe me, he had no intention of throwing it which way he was going. He knew where the guy was going to be open. His NFL and his offensive IQ, as you say, is so off the chart that it's, uncomparable to the NFL, except this cat right there. That dude right there, that dude's got some smarts too. This guy is to me. I mean, when I'm looking at I mean, God, you couldn't listen. If you're gonna write a Super Bowl, you couldn't write it, better than what you're seeing right now, as far as bringing in Patrick Mahomes and bringing in, of course, the GOAT. I mean, obviously the GOAT, and then a future GOAT up on top of it. I'm going to tell you right now, this could not be any much better as far as a what you're going to get kind of thing. I mean, because this guy can deliver the ball better than most guys that are out there. And if you want to doubt that, you can do that all day long. But this guy's got Travis Kelce. He has got the speedster Hill on the outside. I mean, this guy utilizes every single guy that is out on the football field. Look at Tyreek Hill. And believe me, that play right there that you just saw in the video, I mean, he just had some good coverage. If this guy gets one step on your ass, that's it. You can turn out the light. And not only that, his field vision is unbelievable as well. So when you're seeing what's going on, Travis Kelce, I went through a whole list of things regarding Travis Kelce, 20 points on why he probably is the best tight end in the game. But not only that, you got other guys that he's thrown to. The video right here proves that he can find his guys, but if you leave one of those other guys open, he's going to sneak it into them, and then you end up getting these kind of things, more so than Travis Kelce or, Hill on the other side. So, I was looking at this game and I was asking myself the question. The question was, well, are these two offenses actually kind of equal? And I'm sitting here going to myself, yes, because even though Travis Kelce has just been going crazy nutso, Gronk hasn't been there, but Gronk knows how to do it. So there's a difference. And sooner or later, and I stated this whenever I seen what was headed our way, obviously with the opportunity of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going, this was the whole plan the whole year. In reality, is to get to this game. If you don't think Gronk is going to be part of this offense or a big part of the offense, or if they get down near the red zone and they're not going to throw the ball to him, all I got to say is that you need to you might need to get the drug test and get going, because I'm going to tell you right now what's going to go. If you don't think for 2 seconds he's going to be getting the ball to Gronk, you're crazy.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this, and I was hearing you talk, and I was thinking about what I've been thinking about. Here's the best scenario for this game right here. This game has all of the stories, all of the great, the GOAT and the future GOAT, all the stuff that has the makings of this being maybe one of the greatest Super Bowls ever.
Absolutely.
And here's what I could see happening today is first half is going to be kind of a little bit of feeling out, and it might be a big play here and there, but I could see the fourth quarter coming.
Yep.
And the fourth quarter is going to be like this. Brady's going to be the Brady or Mahomes, whichever team, they're going to score a touchdown. The other quarterback's going to get the ball and say, okay, I'll do you one better. Let's ride down the field, and we go back and forth. And it could come down to whoever has that ball the last part of the game.
Absolutely.
If it's Tom Brady, I'm telling you, if the Chiefs get the ball and they drive down the field and they're ready to score, and it's like a minute and a half, you know what I would do if I was the coach? If I was Andy Reid, I'd run the ball like 2 times, run as much clock because don't give Brady time.
You can't.
He will kill you. He's an assassin.
He will burn your ass where you don't have ass riddle marks on your I'm telling you right now.
He is an assassin.
Yeah.
He has got ice in his veins. He will surgically remove your heart from your chest.
And
I don't like to say that about the man because I can't stand him.
Because you can't stand them. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. I can't stand the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Why? Because they were just good. That's just the way. They were just so damn good, and they were arrogant about it, and it pissed you off. And that's so. I think I'm getting the top of a head here. I think so. We're going to try this.
You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
On Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, don't get much better than this. It's the fine co-host. Oh, and he turns his camera off as soon as
Sonny, I told you. I told you. I got some work going
I just want to see your face. I mean, I can always put something up, to signal who you are and stuff like that. All I got to do is push a button, but and I can do this. I mean, I can do that. Yeah. I mean, so but
working out.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's what I do. That's just what I do. Anyway, that being said, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Happy Super Sunday, guys. Good morning to you all. Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped up. I'm just doing some organizing, some straightening out because we have a very COVID-friendly Super Bowl small gathering going on at the house today. Small gathering.
So, in other words, he's cleaning the garage, okay, and the man cave, getting it ready for everybody there. So you got to get the bike out of the way. You got to get the, all the stuff,
so that way we can tear down the. See what that is?
Oh, he's got the pool table now.
Got to tear that down. And also on the wall, you got to get rid of that Broncos stuff, and and then that Chicago.
I don't think his wife.
Whoa! Yeah. No, not at all.
So wait, are you saying that it's going on? I don't know, but good.
Early, Cuervo. Cuervo, you starting early?
Yeah, got the it's just coffee, guys. It's just coffee.
Right.
It's just coffee.
Sack of garbage. Here it is, 10:23, and he's sucking down the adult.
No, it really is just coffee because I gotta go get the high and tight still.
Oh, gotta go get then the adult beverages.
Then it's game on.
There you go.
I gotta ask Cuervo a question. I've been wondering, Cuervo, do you live in San Diego?
I live about 30 minutes north of San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, in a town called Marietta.
Yeah, I know where that's at.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's where I live.
Lots of trips from Arizona to Cali. You
of course. Maybe this summer we're in San Diego. I'll look you up, Cuervo.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I used to go to Oceanside all the time when he used to live down that area, but I never connected with him when I was in town. I didn't even realize he lived in Oceanside. So
I did.
yeah. So that all right. So you're gonna go on audio only. So we'll we'll keep you around here as much as you can so you can TCB, get ready for the game. So the first hour, and when are you leaving to get the high and tight?
Yeah, so just after the start of the second hour, and
Okay.
then I'll jump back on, and I should be ready to go with the visual.
The visual part of it. All right, very
The
good.
visual, like John Cena.
You can't,
Right now, you can't see me right now. You can't see me right now.
I don't see anything. Nothing.
Well, keep in touch with us over in the comment side of it, and we'll keep you up on that
Well,
side.
I can still talk, Sonny. I just don't want to, be moving all over the place.
You need to. What you need to do is when you need to have you need to have a picture of your ugly self on there as a screensaver holder. So, but we'll work on that as we go on. So
yeah, I don't know the first thing about StreamYard, so you'd have to teach me a thing or two.
No. You got to save it within your thing. So I'll show you.
Yeah, please show me, because again, I'm lost.
Right, so we're gonna lose the visual, and but I had the boss in here, and the boss is dumped off already. So maybe we'll get the boss in here and talk to him when it's time. But that being said, of course,
hey Sonny, real quick, I hope we can get Bryce today.
Oh my gosh. Matter of fact, we need to get a message over to him and tell him to get his ass on.
Because I'm going to tell, you know what I'm going to tell him? I'm going to tell him, for him and Steeler Nation, to stop whining, because that's all I've seen this morning, is about how TJ Watt got robbed not being Defensive Player of the Year. Listen.
I've seen that too.
You're saying there's some baby I don't know.
Hey, Steeler Nation, quit your crying. Let me tell you something. Aaron Donald puts up defensive end numbers at D tackle. Do you know how hard that is? Do you understand how hard that is to do? And this guy's putting up numbers. He's putting up numbers that defensive end pass rushers put up as a 300-pound tackle.
I wasn't disappointed in Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt, if he got it, I would have been disappointed either. But
yeah,
Aaron
dude's
Donald,
a phenomenal talent.
He is the defensive player of the, I want to say, decade. I mean, the dude is he is a monster. And if he's not dominating, he doesn't have to just dominate a game. He dominates a game because there's offensive coordinators scheme against him.
Yep.
And that's what makes him great. Besides his numbers, that's what makes him great, is because when you start having to defense against a player, then that helps the offense, or that helps the defense. Hey, okay, you want to double team him or triple team him? Hey, ask the teams that played against a certain player called LT.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
That guy dominated games.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And still got numbers. So
and even Cuervo, even for a Bear, Mike Singletary.
Yep.
There's some. I'm telling you, they had to scheme against a player.
He isn't in the Hall of Fame, but Richard Dent was a badass as well.
Richard Dent is in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize that.
He is. He got in, I think, 2010, 2011, somewhere around there.
Because Richard Dent was a badass. I'm telling you right now. So
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, before I let you go, the Hall of Fame was announced. The Hall of Fame, and I'm sure you're not very disappointed about some of the names that came out of that, but there were some first ballot Hall of Famers that got in, and I'm just kind of wondering, what did you think about some of the first ballot Hall of Famers?
Do you mean that guy right there?
Yeah, that guy got in. Yep, that guy got in without question. That guy got in without question.
Not disappointed one bit. I'm gonna tell you. I think it's a very good class, especially with the three headliners of Manning, Woodson, and Calvin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see, and I know Obie won't like this much, but Alan Faneca was an outstanding offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm sure people down in your neck of the woods, Sonny, are excited about Drew Pearson finally getting in. Yep, that's him right there. That's
your boy.
That's our boy. Me and the old lady. We were just saying, like, we just miss seeing him on the field. But did you watch last night the clips of them getting told that they officially got in? I thought it was pretty cool.
I did, but So, do you think anybody got in that shouldn't have got in? One maybe, I think maybe, I think maybe this guy shouldn't have got in, in reality on the first ballot. Hell, if Terrell Owens can't get in on the first ballot or the second ballot, how the hell is this guy getting in to the freaking Hall of Fame on the first ballot? I'm sorry. I think I'm a little bit off on that one as far as how
a little bit of a head scratcher there. Like,
yeah, I can see that. I see. I get your point. I just think that it was one of those things where Calvin was a I don't know if I wouldn't say a transcender as far as wide receivers, but. I guess when you have a nickname like Megatron, I guess that's what gets you in first ballot.
Is that what gets you in? I
don't know.
Nickname?
I'm not saying that Calvin Johnson is not a Hall of Famer. I mean, when you really think about it, do you question him being a first ballot? Yeah, yes. A little bit. Like you said, Owens didn't get in his first time. But you know what though? That was the voters and the Hall of Fame sticking it to T.O. And we talked about that, Sonny.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. And was it right? No, absolutely it wasn't right. But, I guess when you're well-liked and you don't cause trouble and you don't cause drama, then...
you're loved. Then you love.
You get the love, exactly.
Just as I was going to push the button, someone turns off his camera. So well, hold on. There he is. Let's do it. He is the official 2020 NFL Pick'em champion here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's DC, the boss, Dennis Clark. How you doing? I'm just pushing. He can't decide if he wants to stay or should I stay or should I go. How you doing, man?
Okay.
Hold on here.
He's speechless. He's speechless.
Yes, he is.
He's having such a great day. He's speechless.
Well, I think I'm in. Am I in?
You are in.
All right, good.
I'm still here, Sonny. I'm still here.
I still got Cuervo, so I'm going to leave him up. We got to get him. We got to have him upload a picture to where we can at least see his ugly mug there. But that being said, of course, good morning. All hail to the champion here. So I got to bow down to the champion. Anyway, good morning.
That's only because I didn't play all year. I didn't play the whole season. That's the only reason.
Yeah, is that what it was?
I tell you what, I was going.
Well, picking those Cleveland Browns, you actually got lucky. But anyway, so how you doing? It's Super Bowl Sunday. What are you doing over there for Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, I got my banquet TV dinner in.
That sounds like a Sunny Super Bowl.
Yeah, well,
he's making pot roast.
I got more class than that. I put in Marie Callender pot pie.
Oh, the chicken pot pie. That's Sunny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
the big one, right, Sonny?
Yeah,
the bigger one.
Yeah. We're going all out. We're going all out and doing Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh wow, that's right.
All the trimming. So.
Yeah, so more stuffing. You need more stuffing, like you need a hole in the head, but hey, it's good. So, I mean, you've been hearing what we've been kind of, I don't know how much you've listened to this diatribe that we've been going on here. But Calvin Johnson gets in the Hall of Fame. Did you see the list of the Hall of Famers that were going to be inducted, or did that just go way over your head and you didn't catch it?
It went woo.
Huh?
It went woo.
Woo! Right over his head. He didn't even know about it. So,
Ric Flair. Woo!
Oh my
by the way, if you get on my Facebook page, you'll see Jay Lethal do the best. He does Ric Flair.
Dude,
better
that was
than Ric Flair.
awesome. That was Ric Flair right there.
That's right.
That was Ric Flair.
That guy was better than Ric Flair. I mean, it's
He
unbelievable.
was.
So so check out my Facebook page. Scroll down just a little bit, you'll see it. But here we are though. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Besides eat, which is one of the things I like to do, to make a pot roast and just put in the fixins. Fred told me to put the fixins in right before we came on air. What about Super Bowl Sunday? Is it? Do you have everybody coming over?
No.
Yeah.
It's COVID, dude.
What's going on? I don't want nobody.
I want to see the game.
Yeah, there you go. So watch the game. So, and what about you, Obie? You got a whole party happening?
No, we're going over. I have a neighbor who him and his fiance, they bought a house, and so this is their second week in the house. And he called me up and said, "Hey, why don't you come on over? We'll watch the Super Bowl." And so we're having burgers. There's only just him, his fiance, her girls, and then my wife and I. And I think that's all the people are going to be there. And I'm making some smoked queso.
Ooh.
Yes. It is the bomb.
That sounds amazing.
All about. I mean, I could have thrown a pot pie in really easy. I mean, because I'm really good at it. I'll just hook up in the box and set it in there. See, I'm really good at that. So I actually tried and putting together an actual meal, because believe me, I'm only one by myself, so I don't need to. But today I just went ahead and did it. So it should be interesting. And Cuervo's having the party. What are you having over there, Cuervo? What are you eating?
Yeah, so we're gonna have the traditional American barbecue of burgers and hot dogs.
There you go.
We're also gonna have we're gonna make some nachos. And then we're also going to have possibly some ribs or something like that. So it's gonna be quite the menu, guys.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm surprised that there's no Spanish, mixed in there, because I know your lady, it's got the family tradition of Spanish food and stuff. So no Spanish food at all.
Well, I guess you could argue that the nachos are the Spanish part of the menu.
Hey, about American as it gets. I mean, as far as that, I'm talking some good old queso, good old rice.
I'll send him some of my queso.
So get some queso going. So that's
Cuervo will be there in about.
We are going to have some of that to go with the nachos.
There you go. And
all right, come on down. You know, Marietta's that.
You're missing the secret ingredient, though. I heard no word of brewski.
No,
well, of course, that's a given, dude.
We had thought Cuervo had already jumped into the alcoholic beverages, adult
beverages. Yes.
He's got to go get the high and tight, so he's going to drive. But after that, all bets are off, because I know this jarhead. This jarhead knows how to drink.
I've had a drink or two in my time, guys.
Yeah,
I've had a drink or two in my time.
Yeah, one
or two.
Yeah, what's
just twice? One or two.
Yeah. So I only got Jim until the top of the hour, so I want to talk a couple of things. You saw some of the names that were inducted in the Hall of Fame. So you think someone on the outside that did not get in should have gotten in this time more so than some of the other ones, because there were some good names that were put in there, some that I don't necessarily agree. Here is your class right there. All you got to do is look at the screen, Cuervo, or Obie. I put them all up there. There's Drew Pearson there, Rod Woodson. I mean, that guy's super bad as far as that's concerned. Tom Flores.
Johnny Lynch. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
Lynch, yeah.
Yep. It definitely
one of the best safeties out there ever.
Yes.
That dude can hit.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And that was back in the day where you could hit hard without having to listen to the belly aching and the crybaby about, somebody getting hit,
Yeah, exactly.
that right there.
So along with my homework, I ran across this article about in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. And there's been a lot of people crying up there. So if you want to get the baby back up there, crying that Clay Matthews did not make the Hall of Fame.
I heard that. I heard that. I heard.
Look who he played for. Look who he played for.
Time out, Cuervo. Let me speak. I'm a big Browns fan, but I'm going to go back to what Sonny and I were talking about before you guys got on. Yes. I think he is unfortunately a product of who he played for at that time.
No question.
He's probably one of the greatest linebackers to play, but he didn't make the Super Bowl.
Yes, definitely.
And I think that's going to hurt him. And I don't think he's good. I mean, he might get in on the, when
telling me there's a chance.
And, after a while, you get the players to vote and whatever. He might get in then. But him being a Hall of Famer, I don't see the numbers there. I don't see the playoffs and the championships and things like that. I don't think it. So,
for Clay Matthews?
For Clay Matthews, no.
Allow me to not that I'm better than you. Let me allow it to correct you. He was on that Packers championship team when Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl with the Packers. He was on that team.
We're not talking about that Matthews. We're talking about his daddy.
Oh, senior.
Yeah,
oh,
senior. Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yes, senior.
Gotcha.
Clay Matthews' daddy, the senior. He was good too.
Yes, he might have been better than the son. But
maybe
different eras, of football are huge and stuff like that.
Probably a lot tougher than his son.
Probably, yeah. But I'll tell you that one is. I heard about that. I actually read that somewhere that someone was a little bit, upset about that. But guys, guess what? We got company.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Quite possibly the best intro on the show, except maybe Cuervo's. You know what? I don't even have an intro for me. But there he is. I can't dig it, sucker. Always good to see Bryce on Sunday. So we're going to make it crowded in here. We got all five up there. Good to see you, my man. Look at that smile. This guy is the epitome of so good looking. He needs to be bit slapped. That's what it is.
I got a question. This is the first time that him and I have been on.
Yeah.
Are you still licking your wounds? I love it. I just had to do it. I just had to.
You know what? You know what, Obie? You know what? I have nothing to say.
He even said that. He said, I can't even talk to Obie about this because it's so bad, the whole situation. By the way, Cuervo's got a message for you. I don't know how. Hey, Cuervo, you there?
I'm here.
All right. And what is your message? What is your message for Bryce from Brooklyn?
Well, first of all, happy Super Sunday there, Bryce.
Happy Super Sunday, my man.
Hey, I need you to do me a huge favor. All right. I need you to talk to Steeler Nation and tell them to quit their crying about TJ Watt not winning Defensive Player of the Year. Look, dude's a phenomenal talent, all right? He's a phenomenal talent.
Lord.
Don't get me wrong. But you don't know Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, like I told these guys just a minute ago before you got on, he's putting up defensive end numbers at the tackle position. You know how hard that is. You know how hard that is. Give the man the credit. Look, TJ Watt, he's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year someday. It ain't today though.
Oh, he got robbed last year. I mean, I'm sorry, he did. Last year, the guy should have got Defensive Player of the Year. This year, he kind of gets robbed. Now, I don't necessarily dislike the pick, okay? I get it, and I understand the guys double and triple team. But as far as that was concerned, how many games did they win, Bryce? Maybe how many did the
At
Chargers?
least 11.
Was it 4 games that the Chargers won? 4?
Oh, Aaron Donald's a Ram, Sonny.
Oh, he's a Ram. Oh, that's right. Okay, I gotta. Okay, I guess I gotta back that one up. I mean, I thought he was.
I just want to hear what he has to say because he's been sighing. He's putting his head in his hands, and
did he do the pose again? Did he do the pose?
You missed the pose.
You missed the pose.
Yeah. You missed the pose, yeah. That's right. You did, yes.
There it is.
That right there.
That's the one.
That's what he looked like on the second Sunday that the Browns beat the Steelers.
Hey, you know what it is, Bryce? It's right now. It's kind of tough being a Steeler fan right now. I have a feeling, isn't it?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I thought the Steelers were great this year. I really did.
Still got some bad luck.
Games.
You know what, Sonny?
Stumbles. But other than
I have nothing to say to Obie, but here's what I'll say to Cuervo. 2 words. Whatever, Cuervo.
Whatever.
That's what I have to say.
Okay.
You look at this. Just look at the numbers. As great as Aaron Donald is, the player. When you look at the numbers, defensive player of the year, and you compare those two, in almost every category, TJ Watt is lapping Aaron Donald. Tackles, sacks. I mean, he's a tackle, but passes defense, got an interception. All of those stats, he is lapping Aaron Donald. This shouldn't have been close. This year, he got robbed of that award. He is the defensive player of the year. He's beaten him in all the stats. He had a better year. There's no shame in it. Aaron Donald is a great player. TJ Watt had a phenomenal year. He is also great. He deserves to be the defensive player of the year. He had a better year than Aaron Donald.
Period. I gotta ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Let's just say if the Steelers had beaten the Browns in Wild Card Weekend and they made that second week of the playoffs, do you think he would have got Defensive Player of the Year? If he had taken the Steelers as far as Donald took the Rams?
You know what? No, I don't. Because I believe Aaron Donald this year, because he is such a great player, got that award because of the narrative about Aaron Donald, that he is a great player. He had good numbers. His numbers could not match TJ Watt's numbers this year. TJ Watt was the better player this year for the regular season. He should be the defensive player of the year.
Well, then I guess I got to ask, and then I got to jump to Obie because he's got to leave. I gave him a homework assignment, but then I go back to number. Okay, you know, sometimes numbers are deceiving. Could they be deceiving in this point? I mean, because obviously we got numbers as far as Frank Gore is concerned. Everybody thinks he's a Hall of Fame, running back, because of his numbers. I mean, granted, number 3 on the all-time list, but really, are people looking at TJ Watt going, well, he's got great numbers, but what did they really do? And that's what I think Jim is, or Obie's talking about. If they may have made the playoffs or maybe went a little deeper into the playoffs, would he get more consideration for that award as far as that's concerned? So,
yeah, I mean, I can.
There you go, right there. Take a look at this.
Yeah. Let's look at this for Cuervo.
I worked hard for you guys this
Cuervo's not on. He can't see this.
Yeah.
So Cuervo.
Here, Cuervo.
I'm looking.
He's looking. We just can't see his mug.
Oh, okay. So aside from forced fumbles, good job on Aaron Donald. Look at these numbers. And you mean to tell me that TJ Watt is not the defensive player of the year? Come on.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this on this award, on this time this year. I think the award was given to Aaron Donald because not his numbers, but we talked about this before you came on, Bryce, is the impact on the game.
Absolutely.
The impact on the situational game time throughout the game. Aaron Donald has, and I'm not saying TJ Watt didn't have impact, because I'm telling you he did, because the other teams had to know where he was.
Right.
But just I think it was more of an impact award, I guess, or throughout the whole year, the body of work, and possibly it could have been an impact award for the last couple of years. Who knows?
Well, if you want to go a couple of years, T.J. Watt was a badass last year, by the way.
He had a phenomenal year. I thought he was worthy of Defensive Player of the Year last year.
That guy, listen, I get the guy I get it. The guy pulls triple teams. There's no question. I mean, when your defensive coordinator is spending more time on one guy instead of the whole defense, which in this case, when you got Aaron Donald in front of you, that's what defensive coordinators are going to do, or there's going to be a huge problem for your team succeeding. That having been said, of course, that's the name of this show. Those numbers, let me just put those back up, because there's one number I want to talk about. You can sit here and talk about all the numbers that are on this stat, but there's one that really stands out more as far as where they are. It's the quarterback hits. Now, if you think about some of those hits actually turning into sacks, okay, he's got more sacks. He could have been somewhere near 18, 19, maybe even 20 sacks he could have gotten to. This guy gets to it. And not only that, if you look at the past defenses numbers, 7 defensive plays compared to Aaron Donald's 1. So, you can talk about impact, and it would make sense because the guy's being triple teamed. But if you want to do that, you've got to really dive into the numbers in reality and see what kind of impact that maybe Watt has been able to do, more so than, okay, here's the easy game plan, take out Aaron Donald. Well, if you put too much up as far as Watts are concerned, it could be even worse, because maybe he's not as great as Donald, but if he drives way too much attention away from it, that's going to leave other people wide open down the area, and you're not going to be able to. So I see both sides. I'm going to tell you right now, if I had a vote in it, I'd get, and it has nothing to do with the guy that's sitting below me right here on the square. I'm telling you right now, I had my vote in for T.J. Watt, and I put that out there a couple of weeks ago because I think he is. I get the impact. I see where and I'm not upset about it, because the one I'm upset about is this one right here. That's the one I'm upset about. I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, the man that is the MVP in this league is the guy that has not been able to listen. Nobody's rushing the ball for 2,000 yards for how many years? How many years? Okay. And the guy can't even get the respect based up on it. Listen, there's no question Aaron Rodgers was a badass, but you also, if you think about this is the reason why I want these awards to come out before the playoffs. Because if you look at that situation, I know he didn't have a great game, that being Henry. But if you look on the other side, Aaron Rodgers got blamed 3 times after getting an interception from the GOAT. 3 times, okay? All right, so I'm going to tell you right now that they're subject to ridicule and things like that, and who's doing what or whatever the case may be. But I honestly think T.J. Watt should have got the Defensive Player of the Year based upon it. And again, Aaron Donald, he's going to get double team, sometimes triple team. But those other 2 numbers that I was talking about on that page, that is the reason why I'm going Aaron Donald for that award. I mean, look at that number: 7 pass defenses compared to 1. And then you have the interception. Then it wasn't that pick 6, by the way, too. The interception he had, wasn't it a pick 6?
No. It wasn't a pick 6. It stopped the crucial. It stopped a crucial drive in the first game, but yeah, it's. I mean, look, the fact that he could have numbers like that and not win the Defensive Player of the Year award against the guy whose numbers paled in comparison. I mean, look, it's hard for me. I'm not talking bad about Aaron Donald. He had a great year. He is a great player, one of the best defensive players we've seen in the last 10 years. But for T.J. Watt not to win that award is a disgrace.
Yeah,
and I tell you what. And I tell you why Cuervo really said what he said. Because Cuervo ultimately is salty because T.J. Watt has played better than his boy Khalil Mack. That's why he's really salty.
Yeah,
That's why he's really salty.
You caught
And
me.
he's
That's
just
what
jealous
it's really
because
about.
T.J. Watt is outplaying his guy at outside linebacker.
Blasphemy!
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
You're right.
It's not
It's
blasphemy
true.
because it's true.
How
Who's got
dare you
music
such
on?
thing?
What is that music?
That's probably coming from my brother. He's probably, that being said,
Bryce.
before I lose Jim, I kind of accidentally gave him a homework assignment. Talk a little bit about the homework assignment that I accidentally gave you.
The homework
on a post that I did in the chat.
So the homework that I kind of took upon myself was to find out these rumors about the Cleveland Browns going after Richard Sherman and or Patrick Peterson,
or both.
Now, or both. And so here's kind of what I've been doing some digging. If either one of those players becomes a Brown for next year, it's going to be more than likely Patrick Peterson. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Richard Sherman has kind of burned some bridges in Cleveland.
Oh.
Back in, I don't want to say it was this year or maybe last year, Richard Sherman was talking some smack about Baker Mayfield. And then after the game, he said Baker wouldn't shake his hand after a game. And everybody's like up in an uproar. And Baker, he's a sore loser and blah. Video came out that was a lie because they did shake hands and they actually, patted each other on the back of the helmets and everything. So Cleveland fans and Cleveland, I think Cleveland coaches and GMs, they remember that kind of shit. Oh, sorry about that. And so also, I guess he's been talking some smack about the Cleveland coaches and something about that back when Cleveland was doing their search for their coach now, I guess Richard Sherman went on record saying it was ridiculous, and I'm sure he has a few expletives there, that the Cleveland Browns didn't hire the 49ers coordinator. I forget what his guy's name was. Yeah, yes. And he was kind of sore about that, and he's made some comments. So Richard Sherman coming to Cleveland? Nah, I don't think so. Now, as for Patrick Peterson, that's an interesting question there because the Cleveland Browns, they went out and they drafted themselves a quarterback, a very good quarterback, Denzel Ward. But he had some injury issues this year. So I think if they're going to go out and get somebody, it's going to be somebody that has some experience. Patrick Peterson would fit that. I don't know if Patrick would start. I mean, he probably deserves to start. But I think they want some what's the word I'm looking for? They want some more players for certain positions. They want to have some depth. And getting Patrick Peterson would be doing that. Now, I think Patrick is going to want to be paid because of his, his past, his past performances. This year was not great. So I think that's going to hurt him a little bit. But so my homework came up with I could see maybe Patrick Peterson being a Cleveland Brown, but I think if the Browns want to solidify or get better at that position, which I thought was weak this year, the quarterback position, there are some younger players and possibly better players than Patrick Peterson that's going out on the free agent list. And I think I would rather see them going after those players.
Got it.
Than Patrick Peterson.
I don't know. I'll throw it over to Bryce. I mean, the two guys that are talking about, obviously I'm not a Richard Sherman fan, never have been, never will be, because the guy just can't stop flapping his lips about how great he is, and we all know he isn't as great as he thinks he is, but that's okay. He's a good player, but I will say I wouldn't touch Richard Sherman, not because I hate him, because I do. I got some mad hate for it. Don't like him. But his age, where he is right now, I think I agree with Obie. I think I want to, where your team is right now, I think you need to start getting younger so you can start solidifying your place at that position for a longer period of time. You get Richard Sherman right now, he's not going to be there. Patrick Peterson will last a lot longer than Richard Sherman.
It's not a long window there. I think a couple more years with Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, well, but it's better than just one, because I don't think they're going to get 1-1 with Richard Sherman. Go ahead, Bryce. I know you're foaming at the mouth on this one.
Okay, let's pump our brakes a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna say something. Let's first acknowledge that everything Richard Sherman said about the Browns, handshake aside, about Baker Mayfield's play at the time and the coach they hired at the time, was very legit to say, because a lot of people had those questions. Okay, a lot of people, and in terms of the quarterback, I'll give the coach credit. Do I think he was coach of the year? No. That's another one that we could talk about. Yeah, I said it. No. Do I think he was coach of the year? No, I think they had a good year. I think because the Browns have been so bad, the fact that they got to the playoffs and then won a game, all the credit in the world, he got it. If I was going to give it, but if I had to choose between him and Sean McDermott, I would pick Sean McDermott as the head for the coach of the year. Now, in terms of Baker Mayfield, look. Let's be very honest. Let's get the wins aside. He played a good year. He played well. He has shown himself to be a quarterback that can play well when everything around him is going a certain way. Now, you want to be the Browns and roll the dice and give that guy that big contract, you go right ahead. But can you honestly say that Baker Mayfield is the type of quarterback that in the crunch moment, this team gets down by 2 scores or more, he's going to start dictating to defenses, go here, spread them out, and can throw you back into a football game? If Browns fans think that because you got the euphoria, 21 years, you finally beat the Steelers in a moment that mattered, so now Baker Mayfield has arrived, you go right ahead. Let's run it back with your coach and your quarterback next year. Let's see what happens. That's what I'll say about that.
I love it.
Bobby, the floor is yours.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, I don't want to take away from the fact of where the Browns were last year compared to where they were. Sonny Clark has been known. Ask Cuervo, has been rough on people who turned something around just because they were so damn bad that hell, I might have been able to go in and coach that thing a little bit better. Now, that being said, this is different, okay? I'm going to tell you straight out. The reason why I think it's different, and I don't necessarily, I'm not on Bryce's side on this, okay, is that you got a punk at the quarterback, okay? And if you can figure out how to get the punk at the quarterback to play quarterback, be a team guy, maybe try to maybe think that maybe you could be a leader of this team and maybe get past it. Listen, those 2 games, you can say whatever you want about them. You beat the Steelers twice in 1 week, there it is. By the way, it's good to see Jonathan. Jonathan, if you want in, I'll send you the link. By the way, I'm big old Jonathan, and he's great. But here's what I'm gonna say about that. That was a train wreck. Listen. My Jacksonville Jaguars are a chain wreck, but it's nowhere near where the Cleveland Browns were. This year, they were the Cleveland Browns of this whole thing, that being my Jaguars. They need a lot of help. But you have to figure out a way to bring stability as far as coaching and thinking, because this guy had got – and here's another thing that I don't like. These young coaches going in and coaching these teams with the young players that are there. that was obviously another right thing. Because if they went old school on it, guess what? The Cleveland Browns wouldn't even make the playoffs, and we would just be having fun talking to about how bad Obie's team is. So being able to get to where they are, I'm going to tell you right now, that is coaching, and it was the best coaching job this season based upon what they did in order to get into the playoffs there, Bryce. They had to beat the Steelers to get there, even though it was the seconds. They had to do it. And then they turned around and just bitch slapped your Steelers all over the football field in the playoffs. And I know he can't answer that because that's what happened. And I'm sorry, they did it without their coach to get there. And then they went ahead and did. Listen, I called them off. There was no way that the Browns were going to beat the Steelers in that scenario right there. So I think he did deserve the Coach of the Year of the award. I think it was the right pick because even though I agree with you, great job that was done by a couple of other ones that you could put out, Sean McDermott being one of them. Listen, the Bills, but the Bills were not a monstrosity of a football team before he even got there because it was almost set up in reality, even if you go back to the Tampa Bay defensive coordinator who was there for a while. His name's slipping my mind. You know who I'm talking about. He used to be the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, Obie. What's his name?
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. So Todd Bowles back into the day where he should have taken that job, but it was actually not taken by him. He went to the Jets. But the thinking of what I was thinking, if Bowles went to that, they would have been where they are a lot quicker in reality. So I think it was kind of set up in reality for McDermott to have some success over there. But I can't think of any other coach in the NFL right now that could be able to do it. It's not Bruce Arians. It's not Andy Reid. But to actually turn a franchise completely around and get out of the oblivion of not even mediocrity, just horrible football for the last 20 years. That's the reason why Obie has aged so bad is watching the Cleveland Browns. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that out loud.
So are you? Can I have the floor to reply?
Sure.
Obie, before you have the floor, man, I want to say it's good to see you back, and I'm sorry to hear about your family, and I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope you're getting along better.
But what I have to say is, yes, as a Browns fan, yes, I was all about the euphoria and hey, we made the playoffs. We had a great season. I think right now, the Cleveland Browns with the general manager and the coach and the coaches and some of the players that we have turned that nasty chapters that we had in the past. I think we're there. Now, to answer your question about do I think that Baker Mayfield is our savior and could be that quarterback to take us to the promised land? I don't know yet. If Baker has the attitude, he has the world is on me and piling on me kind of attitude. Somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong. He has that attitude. Now, I don't know. I don't know if he's that quarterback, but I do know that he had a bad year last year. Now, for him to come back and put up numbers like he did, phenomenal. I mean, just really, really good. And here's the thing, is all great quarterbacks, as the GOAT, all great quarterbacks have players around him that help him.
Right.
Ben has had players around him that help him. Baker has the players. He has the Jarvis Landrys. He has the Nick Chubbs. He has the Kareem Hunts. He's got the guys there. Now they need an offense. They need to upgrade their offensive line. They need to upgrade a couple of defensive positions. Am I saying that we're going to make the playoffs next year? I don't know. I think we have the ingredients. We're getting more ingredients. We have the possibility to be there. And so, yes, there are some crazy Browns fans that think that Baker is the second coming. Baker's, I don't think, is the second coming. That guy right there, the second coming of greatness, is probably playing in the Super Bowl today, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
I
Patrick
agree.
Mahomes, we talked about this before, Sonny and I did. Patrick Mahomes has all the tools. He can throw the ball deep. He can escape. He can run if he has to. You watch this guy play today. He can deliver the ball at any angle of arm angle.
I agree.
That's Tom Brady. Tom Brady could do that in his younger years. And trust me, I am not a Tom Brady fan.
No, you hate him.
Never have, never will be. But I'm going to tell you right now, if for a guy to get his teams to the Super Bowl 10 times, win 6 of them, and possibly maybe win a 7th, the guy is great. He will be known as the greatest quarterback to play in the NFL. I'm sorry, Joe Montana. Yes, I thought you were the greatest. But Tom Brady has surpassed him. So I answered you, Bryce, but I got to go. I got some commitments. It was great being part of this. I'm going to be a part of it again next year. And even if my Browns suck next year, I will be part of this program. I love you guys, and God bless.
Who wins the Super Bowl for you out of here?
Before I'm out of here, who I want to win the Super Bowl is the Chiefs. Who I think is going to win is the GOAT.
Got it. He is Obie. Good. Get you next week, 17 weeks. Yeah, bribe the wife. So be good to the wife so you can get 17 weeks.
Be good.
So,
all right. See you later, guys.
You got
Cuervo, maybe sometime during the summer, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, anytime.
Okay. All right.
So checking out. So we got one for wanting the Chiefs to win, but his official pick is going to be the Buccaneers, which I get it. I understand, where they're at. So pulling up now. So I just really quick, and it's probably because you already said so. I'm going to swing it to Bryce. We saw the class of 2021 be selected here for the Hall of Fame. And so I'm going to ask you, looking at that list, what do you think about the list? And is there someone on that list that shouldn't be there? I think there are 3, in my opinion. I haven't said who they were yet, so I'm going to ask Bryce. Of that list right there, those 8, who should or should not be there, or do you like the list?
I do like the list. Yeah. If you could put it back up for me. Yeah, I do like the list. As much as I like Megatron, I thought maybe he'd have to wait a little longer.
Yep.
But
that was one of my 3. That was one of my 3.
Which was interesting. Same with John Lynch. I feel he was a great player, but I feel he could have maybe waited a little longer. But for me, look, you know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where you're going.
As long as the 2 that I'm about to bring up got in, Bill Nunn and Alan Faneca, the rest of them, okay, it is what it is. I just knew that those 2 needed to be there, period. Yeah. And they got in.
Yep. Well, and just looking at this, I'm going to I know where I live. Okay, I know where I live. Jenny. I live in Dallas, okay, in the suburb of Dallas. Listen, you can say whatever you want, okay, about the Hall of Fame, and I'm all about it, and I've always been about talent. Guys that bring it in, not just every once in a while, but consistently always doing it. And
you mean like Frank Gore?
Huh?
Oh, you mean like Frank Gore?
No, because that has not. Wait. The consistency of greatness has got to be there. But listen, that guy right here, as far as Drew Pearson, listen, you want to put him in the Hall of Fame for making some crazy catches? Okay, I get it. Understand. But as far as consistently week in, week out, being the guy, listen, remember when he wasn't the only one on that football team. There are other football guys on that football team that were in reality, probably, obviously Michael Irvin was there, all those guys. Well, actually, this was, a time where, yes, he made some great catches, but I just don't necessarily see it. And I've heard all around here in the Dallas area about how he's been robbed. Listen, how many Dallas Cowboys are in the freaking Hall of Fame, including their freaking owner that shouldn't even be there in the first place? There are some that are in there. So I will tell you straight out, listen, I know what people think about him. I know what people. This guy has been so loved in Dallas. Drew Pearson. I know him. I've sat down. I've spoken with him for hours when he was one of the owners of the Allen Wranglers indoor football team, where I called those games in. I sat with hours, and I love the guy. But as far as Hall of Famer, I don't understand why it's such a big thing. And Don Coryell needs to be in before Tom Flores. I'm sorry. It just needs to happen that way, but that's just a personal opinion. Flores was great. I mean, won Super Bowl, and I get it. And the talent on that football team, I'm not saying that he didn't need to coach that football team, but that Oakland Raider football team, when they won the Super Bowl, that team was amazing. So if you go back and watch the history of that, but I don't put a lot of that on Tom Flores. But I just believe there needs to be somebody else in there. All right, so I will, Jonathan, I'll send you a message for you to get on in a few minutes. So, but I don't know how much longer I got you, Bryce. Are you here? When do you got to bail?
I got about 10, 15 minutes. And then
good. Then let's talk about the game on your perspective. You got the GOAT. You got the next GOAT. Listen, they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame. And this guy here, he's going to make a name for himself after this guy goes away. In reality, when you're looking at the game and seeing the offenses for both these teams are potent, and I don't think where you look at it where who's going to win this football game is really going to be on the offensive side. I think they kind of 86 themselves out unless it comes down to whoever has the ball last at the end, which could be. But what are you looking at in this game, and who you got?
The last time the Chiefs and the Buccaneers played, the Buccaneers had a terrible game plan. Terrible scheme in the first half. They tried to just single cover all game, go press man. Tyreek Hill just simply ate them up. They adjusted in the second half and had a much better game. Now, coming into the Super Bowl, you've got what I would say you have an interesting case here because you've got a team of the Buccaneers that I believe are playing their best football right now versus a team that is dominant, that can just turn it on offensively and go. Yep. And all of a sudden, they'll erase any deficit. And then they'll be down by 10 and then erase that deficit. And then what? They're up by 15 or what have you. So They can do that. However, I think with Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator and the way this defense is playing now, and the fact that you have to put so much attention on the edge rushers helps them keep games close, which turns it over, I think, to the run games. And I said this before about an X factor. That run game of the Bucs is an X factor. I think their ability to hand off and slam it into the line with Fournette and with Jones keeps them in games and helps them control football games. And if they can do that, then you get Tom Brady, who can call on his greatness in the moments he needs it to keep a game close and make the plays down the stretch against a Chiefs defense that is good, but has some faults that will give up yards. And if they allow Leonard Fournette to control this game and the run game to get going, that could be a problem. So having said that, that's the name of this show.
That's the name. I've got the pen in hand. I'm ready to write it down.
This is tough for me. I'm a fan of Patrick Mahomes. I love what he does. He is a great talent at the quarterback position. I have just come to learn as a Steeler fan.
Just
too many times.
Bet
you cannot bet against the GOAT in these situations. And I think if Bruce Arians and Leftwich don't get zany and wacky and decide we're going to make this a physical, dirty football game, we're going to give the ball to Fournette and Jones, which I think they will. Their run game does just enough to keep the game in a place where their defense can make a play or two. Tom Brady can make a play or two. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady will win the Super Bowl, and he will get his 7th Super Bowl, and then I will go vomit on my bed. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vomit all over my bed.
Yes.
But that's my prediction. Tom Brady will capture his 7th Super Bowl and pass Michael Jordan in championships.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about everybody talking. Everybody's talking about that, but
Sonny, I can't bet against him. It's going to happen.
It's tough. It's tough because the guy consistently does it. And Lord forbid if he needs 3 points to win a game. TV off. Because he is just that kind of guy. Listen, this guy can throw 3 interceptions, okay, then come back and win a football game. We just saw that last week, okay? Right. Now, granted, that defense knows who's on the other side. When you got the GOAT, you just play that much better. And this guy right here, this guy makes me want to puke too. That's how good he is. It just makes me sick. Now, before you out here, just really quick on this guy right there. Charles Woodson, getting into there, super bad. I think this one was the obvious one. I mean, outside of Peyton Manning, that was going to happen. Everybody,
we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, everybody knew. But this one right here could have waited. I mean, in reality, and it wouldn't have necessarily been a bad idea, but I'm telling you right now, this guy was super bad. Charles Woodson was, and I'm trying to think of all those guys that played that position. He's got to be number 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's top 4 at that position that I've ever seen play this game, and he's unbelievable at what he did defensively.
Great corner. I mean, just a gamer, and always was a gamer. Just always was a gamer. I remember back in college, I think it was they were announcing the College Defensive Player of the Year award. And as soon as they started, and the winner is, and he started standing up immediately right before they called his name. And I'm like, this dude, moxie, never scared of a moment, could just play. I mean, he was a gamer. He wasn't better than Deion. Deion Sanders, to me, is the best cover corner I've ever seen, but you couldn't ask for a better all-around football player. Charles Woodson was very similar in his era to Rod Woodson to me.
Right, exactly.
He had a Rod Woodson type of quality to him in terms of playing the corner position. Just tough, fast, could run with guys, was never scared of the moment. Always and smart, could make those plays. You got to love Charles Woodson. Hats off to him.
Absolutely. He's just I wish I could hate him. See, he's so good, but his team was never so great. I mean, obviously he got the Super Bowl ring, don't get me wrong. But I mean, as far as dominance and really taking, this team wasn't so great. This was a guy that needed to be on half the time on a different football field, for a different football team so people could he is one guy I think that really got overlooked because of the team that he played on in reality. Now, that's not good nor bad, indifferent, because guys, they have a tendency to stick out like that, and then they end up on different football teams that toward the end of their career and maybe being able to pull them. But Woodson was only one. He only got 1 Super Bowl ring, but I'm going to tell you right now, that guy can, like you said, can make plays. When you can make plays in the NFL, you're going to have a job, and even if it is for the worst football team in reality, wherever it is, you'll have a spot on the football.
He reminds me too a little bit. Who else reminds me of Charles Woodson a little bit is Jalen Ramsey. He's got some of that. Yes. He's got some of that style in terms of the bigger corner, but can run, hit, plays tough, never scared of the moment. I tell you what. I'd have loved both of them on Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I think they would have been great Steelers. I think Charles Woodson would have been a phenomenal Steeler.
Think about this. Those hits that he was putting on those guys, they'd be penalties today. That's how hard this guy is. I mean, you'd have the flag thrown every 5 seconds out there because of the way he played. His stature and the way that he played the game.
He's a physical player.
Unbelievable.
Before I get out of here, Sonny, I'm going to set this up for future shows. Are you doing the show every week at noon?
It might be every other because I'm going to start moving with wrestling. So it'll be every other week that I will be coming because it does slow down because we really follow football more. We'll be bringing more into it because listen, I've been watching a lot of hockey. People don't even know. I mean, I have been like on it. Now I know I can't come on this show and talk hockey. No one know what the hell I'm talking about and or pronounce their damn names up on top of that. But take away from that, it does slow down. We'll probably be bringing in some baseball and stuff like that, as far as that's concerned. So what are you going to set up for me here for
Well, I'm going to set up, one, I do casually love my Pittsburgh Penguins, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Sidney Crosby and Malkin. I respect those guys. What you don't know about me, and I may have brought this up, is living in New York, but even growing up in Pittsburgh in the early 90s, I became a diehard New York Knicks fan. Yes. And so I have been long suffering. I can actually understand Obie's Browns pain because it has been my Knicks pain. But I just wanted to mention the Knicks are starting to right that ship a little bit. Traded for Derrick Rose, a nice piece. They got rid of Dennis Smith Jr., and I think it's a second-round pick. You bring Rose in, you decrease Peyton's minutes, you play Emmanuel Quickly from Kentucky more. They drafted Obie Toppin. This is a team. Let's see what they do. But I'm excited about my Knicks. So if you talk NBA, I'll be talking my Knicks.
Well, I like the NBA, and we do. We talk a lot of as far as basketball, and especially obviously when they start getting close to the playoffs and stuff like that. When they get closer to that, we really kind of dive into it because it's kind of cool. And especially like you said, the Knicks are a different. How do you say it? They're a different basketball team. As far as because you can go back into the day, right, and think of some of the guys they used to have. And one of the guys that I really wish, and I do, it's almost heartbreaking that Patrick Ewing does not have a championship. It actually kind of hurts my feelings because that was back in the day when Sonny loved to watch him some basketball during that time. Now I'm a victim of when I grew up, so I'm one of these guys. But I will also say that when they went ahead and, like you said, they went out and grabbed a couple of pieces, I'm worried about one of them, and that would be Derrick Rose because of his situation. That right there. I don't know if that would be something that he can play. I think that's something. This guy's got to be able to bring it night in and night out. And I don't want to hear about how great he is until I see more of it. We're early in the NBA season. I want to see more. I want to make sure that he doesn't get hurt. I want to make sure that he's in a uniform. I want to make sure that we can watch the guy because I think he's got the potential to be that guy that we saw not more than 6 years ago where the guy was dominant. The guy was dominant before he got that injury. And I'm going to tell you, that's one of my favorite pictures, by the way. I found it really quick because it's one of my favorites. But if he can make himself available, because we talk about this in sports, sometimes, and all your Frank Gore lovers, I'm here, I can play, I can suit up and stuff like that. So if he can show himself consistent enough where he could be out on the court more, and be dependable, or even for that point, if you're going to make him a backup, at least he can be ready and go. That's what I want to see from Derrick Rose. And you're right. I'm tired of seeing how bad the Knicks are because the Knicks are just – you go back to the days, even, when they were playing the Pistons back in the day, I'm telling you right now that there was a riot in the stands half the time. I mean, when those guys were punching each other in the face, and Larry Bird, and, those. You see, that's the historian of basketball that I love. So I would like to see the Knicks come out of the oblivion and become a championship, or at least get into the playoffs and make a run for it. If they don't quite make it, great, but at least show that you can actually do it. And they just haven't been able to do it for a long time.
Fair enough. I guess we will find out.
So,
all right, Sonny.
So we'll be watching. We'll be getting the Nick report from Bryce. And you're not a baseball guy, though. I know you're not.
I'm really not a baseball guy.
Yeah. So I'll be looking forward to the Nick updates every other week, and I'll let you know. I'll send you the link like we did there. Always good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. All right, Dennis. I'll see you. You guys take care. Enjoy watching the Super Bowl.
Be good.
All right.
Have fun with the game.
Yeah, definitely. So I got the man, the myth. Let's talk about your Super Bowl pick as far as what you are looking at, DC. I mean, you're not a guy that dives into it like I will. Oh, I gotta send Jonathan the link. But when you're looking at this game, what are you looking at as far as who's going to win? Are you going to keep it simplistic, or did you dive into it like we do?
No, I'm not. You know me. I'm not gonna dissect a football game for you. But what I will say is experience.
Mm-hmm.
That should tell you right now who I'm going for.
Yeah, and it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I mean, because he has won 7. It's 7 championships. The guy has done it. By the way, Jonathan, I have sent you the link. I forgot because I was talking with everybody else. So Jonathan will hopefully join us here fairly quickly. But you're right. Experience does a lot. And not only that, the experience that he has, he's bringing his friends along with him. I mean, Gronk has been there with him, so it's not like it's, he doesn't know who to throw the football to. Not only that, he's done fairly well at finding the open receivers as well.
I usually watch last year's Super Bowl before I watch the Super Bowl. And I know what I'm going to see in that game is big comebacks.
Got it. Big
comeback. Last year's Super Bowl was an incredible. It was fun to watch.
Yep.
Because it was crazy. It was just a terrific game. I'm looking forward to watching it again. But Tom Brady is the most experienced man on that field. Hands down.
Absolutely. Even a lot of the coaches don't have the experience. Well, at least getting to the Super Bowl, most of them don't. And that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. I'm going to bring on a guy that we talk a lot of college, but this guy knows the NFL. Let's bring him on. And Jonathan's got the ugly Tampa Bay hat on. Actually, it's the coolest one out of them all. I'm just giving you hell. Good to see you, Jonathan. Look at you, man. What's the whole beard thing working and everything? Are you trying to turn a new image or something?
Nah, man. And COVID, I'm too lazy to go get cleaned up.
I got it. All right.
My hair is long too, but I put on the hat so you can't see
the
it.
Camera. At least all you can do is just comb your hair or put a hat on.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I just didn't shave today, but so listen. Obviously the big game. Obviously with the hat on, we kind of know where. But if you listen to the show and listen to what you had said a couple of times in reality, before you came on this show, a couple of shows that you talked about how you were looking forward to getting Tom Brady down there. You were talking about where they would end up. You had no doubt that they would make the playoffs. Your only doubt was, would they have enough to get to the Super Bowl? Then they started adding pieces after they got them. I look at the weaponry that Tom Brady has. As far as this game is concerned, I'm not just talking on the offensive side of the ball, the weaponry on the defensive side of the ball. That defense held the Green Bay Packers to 0 points after 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions. So the weaponry that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, going into the year, we knew the Bucs would have great defense. Number 1 rushing defense in the NFL last year, obviously number 1 again. We just added Antoine Winfield Jr. To the back end, who's a first-round talent we got in the second. And stellar linebacker play. Devin White matured. I mean, this defense with a great defensive coordinator and Todd Bowles is going to take a step forward, and they really did. I was really impressed, and with the move that they made. Offensively, I mean, adding Tristan Wirfs was massive. We needed another bookend tackle, especially bringing in Tom Brady, who not exactly fleet of foot. And Tristan Wirfs did great this year. Only gave up 1 pressure the entire season. Obviously we've had a great receiving core. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are 2 of the top 10 last year, and then you add Tyler Johnson, and we got in the 5th round. Scotty Miller's taking another step forward in his development. And tight end play. Cameron Brate's been great this year. And running backs. I mean, Ronald Jones was always good. It was just whether Bruce Arians was actually going to give him the leash and let him go, and he did. And we saw great Ronald Jones this year. I mean, this Bucs team has taken somewhat of a step forward, even though there have been multiple times where they shot themselves in the foot. Byron Leftwich has an extremely predictable play call. If you rewatch the Packers game, I believe it's 90% of the drives we ran on first down, and it's not even like there's really a variety to the runs. We're running behind the interiors every time. If you watch Rob Gronkowski, he peaked for about 4 weeks, and then he physically can't handle it anymore. It's also the same guy that admitted that he kind of half-assed his preseason workouts, so he didn't even come in and halfway near game shape. And he's already spent. Antonio Brown, I mean, he is what he is. He's been fine. LaShawn McCoy's been nothing. Leonard Fournette's been a good power back, but it seems like he's grown into his role as the season's gone along. Because when he came in, he seemed kind of bitter. He was the backup, and he's finally embraced it. Look, Tom Brady threw 3 picks on 7 pass attempts against the Green Bay Packers, and all 3 of the interceptions were bad interceptions.
Yes, they were.
Double coverage. You just throw one up because you're pressured, and then you throw one too high over the middle. And he'll be the first to admit that those are his fault, and I understand that. But when Tom Brady came to Tampa, I was afraid of the arm talent because I can tell that his arm has been dying on him. Right. He never had a rocket. Let's be honest, but I can tell that his arm is slowly going, and he starts having to wing it a little more. When you're winging it, you start getting a little loosey-goosey. Next thing you know, it's high over the middle. Also, his decision-making at times can just be baffling. I mean, 2 of the picks were just bad decisions.
Absolutely.
You don't just throw the ball up 20 yards downfield without looking, and you don't throw into double coverage. I don't care how tall Mike Evans is. Like, you're not going to win that battle. So,
not in that game anyway.
Right. So I'm very excited that we're in the Super Bowl. It has been 18 years since I've seen this moment. We're not used to this. It's been 18 years of mediocrity.
Yes.
We out of all the North American sport franchises, we have the lowest winning percentage all time. So I'm not used to winning. So this is kind of been a fun season, but it's also been frustrating because it's been all about Tom Brady, and this is a very good team. This team has a lot of very good talent, and I don't think that gets recognized enough. But net end of the day, between Tom Brady kind of being spoken of more, Tom Brady gets credit for the past and not what he is now.
Right.
I think everybody needs to realize that. And between him and Byron Leftwich, I'm incredibly nervous about going into today's game. When we matched up against Kansas City in Week 12, you take out Tyreek Hill, who had the game of the year, and had an absolutely monster first quarter. The Bucs dominated that game. They got after Patrick Mahomes with the pass rush. Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett both got a sack. The secondary did really well against everybody else. Travis Kelce had 8 for 82, and they couldn't run the ball. I expect the Bucs to come out in a cover 3 look, mixing some bump and run when Tyreek Hill isn't out there. And dare Patrick Mahomes, just throw it underneath because they're not going to let him go deep. You already know today that Todd Bowles went to every single corner and said, if they get behind you, I'm pulling you off the field.
But I think as far as the defense is what this game really can be about, because you can have Tom Brady do exactly what he did last week, a couple weeks ago against Green Bay. And listen, Patrick Mahomes, he's not perfect. I mean, he's thrown up a stinker here and there as well. But really, in reality, when you look at this game and where Patrick Mahomes is in his development, this is a game that he's going to be known for, because all you got to do, just take the step back and look at where the Baltimore Ravens quarterback is, okay? And I'm talking about Jackson, okay? Listen, Jackson gets there as a rookie, everybody, kind of jumping on him for not winning. Second year, they did the same thing. Third year, they're all over him, not getting there. So, this guy obviously was able to bring home a ring, but as far as solidifying what he's going to do as far as his legacy is concerned is big. And getting a win against the GOAT, okay, is huge in reality as far as where he's going to be as far as his legacy and where people are going to talk about him as far as where he's going to end up in the long run. Now, the long run means nothing in reality if you don't win Super Bowls, because you can't, unfortunately, you can't really define greatness without having a championship in reality in today's game. Now, we can argue all day long whether or not Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. We can argue all day long whether or not Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. Yet, listen, no rings for neither one of them. I'm leery on wanting or even thinking about putting them in the Hall of Fame. But a Hall of Great or Good, yeah, they're right there. So, but something tells me this guy right here doesn't know how to just be good. And not only that, he's been proving everybody wrong. If you go back and read his college scouts and what people were talking about for him, they were talking third rounder on this guy. They're talking that he couldn't get the job done. And all he did is turned around a franchise that had not seen the Super Bowl in 50 years and made him a Super Bowl winner.
Hey, one thing that you guys have overlooked, I think Mahomes is banged up a little bit too.
That's true, too.
That may play a big portion in this game too.
Definitely. Jonathan, you have a point there, I think.
Oh, I mean, look, if Patrick's banged up, which I would not be surprised, his left tackle's already out. Eric Fisher tore his Achilles at the back end of that AFC Championship game.
Bad
Jason Pierre-Paul, who beat up on Eric Fisher when they came down to Tampa in Week 12, now he gets to go up against the backup. Shaq Barrett beat up on the right tackle. I mean, look, that when he took that hit, what game was that?
It was week 16, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it? It was the week before. No, it was
the divisional round against the Browns.
The first game. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wasn't it the wild card? No, it was divisional. Yeah.
So when he took that hit and he got up all wobbly, and they said that it was actually a nerve in his neck and this and that, whatever. I mean, look, I'm not a medical expert. I pay attention to what some medical experts said, and one of them said, he got hit right on a nerve in his neck, and that's a bad day. You wonder how quickly you can recover from something like that, since it's not necessarily a pinched nerve, but more of an attacked nerve. I mean, look, he did fine against Buffalo. There's no doubt about that, but they didn't really need him to do as much. Today, he's going to have to move. I mean, he's gonna have to get outside the pocket. He's going to have to move. He's going to have to buy time. And
not because his left tackle's gone. He's going to be moving around.
Oh, yeah.
They will have a moving pocket for Mahomes. If you think he's going to just stick in that pocket with Jason Pierre-Paul breathing down his neck, that isn't going to happen.
I mean, look, he's going to be rolling right a lot of the game. They're going to be running a lot of screens to the left, most likely, to try and get Pierre-Paul to back off. It's Kansas City. They like to run a lot of screens so they can set up the fake screens. And so they like to run a lot of runs outside so that they can then set up a trick play, whether it be a reverse, double reverse, a throwback pass to Mahomes, whatever it is. So, there's going to be a lot of Mahomes moving right today. A lot of, a whole lot of work in the edges for this Kansas City offense as they try to make up for the loss of Eric Fisher and as they try to slow down this passing rush. passing rush, just pass rush that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have cultivated with Pierre-Paul, Shaq, and even Anthony Nelson, who's been great as a rotational guy for us this year.
Interestingly enough, as far as how guys are going to so if you just go with the quick thinking, let's just take the offenses out. They're both right there. Might come down to whoever has the ball at the end of the game. Let's just take that all about. We got two other sides of the ball to look at. Is the defensive side of the ball for both of these football teams are going to be in main focus. One of them, obviously, the secondary for Kansas City is not really up to snuff. You can talk about it all day long, but they've got their problems defensively when you look at it. Now, obviously, the highlights I'll put up are going to be good. They make some plays, especially when they have to, and but at the same time, the consistency of having to bring it in, play out, stopping big plays, giving interceptions when you need them are going to be huge in this game. The question is, do you think that they'll be able to do enough on the defensive side of the ball, Kansas City, to stop, Tom Brady, the GOAT, who has been obviously accident prone? 3 interceptions last game proved it. So what do you think about Kansas City's defense going up against the guy who's done it more than anybody else in the Super Bowl?
I mean, look, Brady threw 2 picks against Kansas City in the last matchup, and they were backbreakers. He threw them in the third quarter in the middle of a rally. Against Steve Spagnuolo, who's Kansas City's defensive coordinator, Brady has a losing record. Against Steve Spagnuolo, Bruce Arians has a losing record. This is a defensive coordinator that has had the number of not only Bruce Arians, who doesn't call plays anymore. Let's not give Bruce Arians credit for anything, by the way. That man does nothing right now. He goes out there, he speaks to the media, and he goes back home. He hasn't done any bit of coaching since he got this job.
Right.
I mean, that's specifically why he took it. He installed Byron Leftwich as offensive coordinator, in all honesty, not for anything other than, what Byron looks like. And Byron has been incompetent this whole time. It's fun. I sound like Tony Romo watching a Bucs game because of how predictable this idiot is.
Yes.
The best thing Bruce Arians did was hire Todd Bowles back. I love Todd Bowles. I'm
Absolutely.
really happy we made the Super Bowl because I never wanted to lose him, and I was afraid we were going to lose him if we had it. So Spagnuolo though has had
head coach again.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, what I'm hoping is
maybe even as early as next year.
Yeah, no, I want Bruce to retire and promote Todd.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great. But Spagnuolo's had Brady's record. We've even seen it in a Super Bowl setting as he was defensive coordinator for the Giants in 2011 and I think 2007. Now I think about it. So Spags has had Brady's number. He's going to know how to get after him. It's going to involve a lot of stunts, a lot of blitzing, and they're going to drop back into coverage. I mean, like you said, this secondary is not fantastic, but they still have the Honey Badger. And Tyrann is an absolutely phenomenal, I guess technically a free safety, if you will. You're really good at reading the quarterback size and getting underneath the coverage and picking balls off. You'd think he's 6'3" when in all reality he's 5'9". So you got to find a way to stay away from him.
Yeah.
I expect a lot of zone coverage out of Kansas City as they just try and pattern match. In all reality, I would expect them to drop back into a cover 4 and just let Tyrann kind of just shift around the field. Their linebackers are a major weakness. You got to be able to attack these linebackers. So, hey, if Gronkowski wants to show up for a game, that'd be kind of cool. I know Cameron Brate was dealing with a back injury this week, but he should be good to go. I'd love to see him get out there. He's somebody who can really is a really good, smart, savvy route runner, which with the Harvard surprise.
Yeah.
And our running backs though are not pass catchers. We cannot rely on them to get the ball moving. These guys clap at the ball like a 3-year-old does. So we really just need our tight ends to get after it. And I mean, like I said, Gronk had 100 yards against Kansas City in Week 12. It'd be kind of cool if he could do anything, considering he's a blocking tight end for us at this point because we cannot rely on him to consistently be able to run down the field.
Yeah, but that feeds into exactly what people want. What I think Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want people to think. If you think Tom Brady, is not going to be finding Gronk in the biggest game of the season, I'm going to tell you right now, Gronk will see the ball. He'll have targets, especially if they get down into the red zone, Jonathan. I mean, he's going to be a main guy that's going to be there. And there's more in the fact that I think this is the reason why they got him. They played red herring all season long. Listen, I think Gronk can turn it on for one game whenever he wants to. Now, you look on the other side. Travis Kelce is a badass. Okay, all right. I think it was maybe not. It wasn't the last show, and it might have not been the show before. But there was 20 points of who Travis Kelce was and is, and this guy is a badass. Now, granted, he's got Patrick Mahomes throwing him the damn football all over the place. But as far as the matchup, I think Kelsey's the better one, the more athletic, and obviously the guy that they could do it. So what they're going to do defensively is they're going to have to try to slow down Kelsey. On the other side, the defense isn't going to be looking at Gronk in reality as a main focal point unless they say they're playing games with us, they're going to go to him. So if they change their defense to get up on Gronk, he might not be a guy that's going to get the ball. But something tells me you can't have Tom Brady and Gronk in the same game without him getting 2 touchdowns. Just something about it.
Like I said, Gronk's really been non-existent since the last Kansas City game. Yep. He didn't come back physically ready, and he still never truly got physically ready. He's been a phenomenal blocker this year.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate that. When you run the ball as well as we have, it takes at all hands, and he's done a fantastic job for us in that role. But I honestly think Cameron Brate is the one who kind of has a big game today. In the red zone, Brady goes to Mike Evans. I mean, when you got a 6'6" receiver who's got that, great jump ball skills, kind of the perfect guy to go to, right? It's Gronk, but skinny at the end of the day. But Chris Godwin has become Brady's favorite receiver. He loves Godwin, and we all kind of anticipated that. I expect Godwin to have another big game against Kansas City. Kansas City did a good job of bracketing Mike Evans last time and keeping his touches down, but Chris Godwin got after it. Scotty Miller is going to take the top off this defense. I've been saying it every week. Scotty Miller's going to take the top off the defense. We saw at the end of the first half against Green Bay, took the top off the defense. I don't care if Green Bay was in a cover one, which is the dumbest defense they could have called there. Fact of the matter is, Scotty Miller burned that corner and got the dance in the end zone. So,
yeah, he did.
Scotty's going to stretch the field. Tyler Johnson's got great hands. Somebody you're going to see on the field in third down. The one receiver that I don't have pegged here is Antonio Brown. He's healthy. He's going to play. Look, I don't want him on the team. I think he's a scumbag. If Tom Brady didn't ask for him, he wouldn't be there because Bruce Arians thinks he's a scumbag.
Yes.
I want to know what Antonio Brown can bring to the team today, what he can provide, and how he's going to be utilized. Because there's no doubt he's an extremely talented player.
Yes.
So how's he going to break this game open? Because if you can put Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown out there, Kansas City kind of sits back and goes, "Oh, look, 3 all-pro receivers. What do we do?" So that's why I was saying I expect cover 3, cover 4 from Kansas City all day. They're not going to try and match up man to man.
They can't.
They can't.
Yeah. And then you just throw Gronk in it just as red herring. I mean, if you leave him open, I mean, Tom Brady is going to find him. All right, now he missed Gronk on one. They were doing highlights, and he missed Gronk on one. Gronk was wide open, and he didn't get the ball. So, so he's going to have to probably open his eyes a little bit more if he becomes that open. But then I look at the weapons on the other side. I mean, if Tyreek Hill gets that ball in the open field, just forget about it. I mean, I knew Tampa Bay's defense is good, but they're not Tyreek Hill open field good. No. And that's one of the things that could break this game open for Kansas City is if they get Tyreek Hill involved with the game and he makes the moves. Really in reality, when you talk about Tyreek Hill, it's not necessarily that he can catch the ball. It's what he can do after the catch.
Don't hold back.
No, you're right. I mean, 4.240, guy's extremely fast.
Unbelievable.
Very shifty. And again, he torched us. 13, 269, 3 touchdowns. Carlton Davis got his lunch taken from him. If I was the Bucs, personally, if I was Todd Bowles, I'd take Jamal Dean and I'd take Antoine Winfield Jr. I'd say, go bracket him. All right, don't let him go anywhere. Play high-low all day on him. We'll man up with everybody else. Sammy Watkins is going to play. I don't think Sammy Watkins is anywhere near close to 100%.
I don't even think so either. And
I know Mecole Hardman's going to play, but look, he's kind of a one-trick pony. Same thing with Demarcus Robinson. They say Kansas City has a bunch of weapons, but they only have one receiver.
Right.
They've got a great tight end. I mean, maybe the best tight end in football.
He is.
And yeah, some good running backs. I mean, they have one of my favorite running backs in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who unfortunately has been dinged up this year. And I hate to break it to him, but he ain't going to do much today.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes needs Kelsey or Hill to have a big game. And if neither one of them has a big game, that offense is going to be in trouble. I mean, they are very dependent upon one of those two breaking open a game right now.
It could be very interesting to see how. Now, when you're going to look at this game and how you're going to judge it, who do you think wins and why do you think they win?
I actually went back and watched the Week 12 game again because with it getting out of hand as quick as it did last time and I was in the middle of doing some things, I just threw on the radio broadcast to quit watching it, to be honest. So I went back and watched it, and I came away feeling the Bucs can win here. As long as they learned from that game, which Todd Bowles has shown that he's learned. I mean, look, we got scolded by the Saints.
Absolutely.
Came out with a totally different defense for the divisional round and shut them down.
And that game confused me in reality.
Yeah. So, I think the Bucs pass rush is going to get after Drew Brees today. I expect the offense to do just enough. Because, again, Kansas City's got a very good defensive scheme. They have good players. They can be picked on. Mainly it's the defensive line that's worrisome. And with Tom Brady, good D-lines always make me nervous. But I expect the Bucs to inch one out. I think that Brady's going to cut down on the mistakes. The Bucs are going to run for north of 150 yards. The defense will hold Kansas City under 80 yards rushing. And I think the defense will actually hold Mahomes under 350 passing, considering he had almost 500 last time. Tyreek Hill somewhere around $125. Travis Kelce under 100. And I expect the Bucs to eke out a victory somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, like 24-20.
Wow.
I really think that this is going to be a chess match. You're going to see long, sustained drives. I do not expect big game-breaking plays today.
I don't either, and I think it'll be all about, like you said, ball control, because Tom Brady knows he can't throw 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl and win it.
No.
Regardless what they did with Green Bay last week, okay? What happened last week was an epiphany that you couldn't have scripted that better, considering that they could not score after the interceptions. You just couldn't have scripted it much better. You're not going to get that in the Super Bowl in reality. Right. That being said, look at this.
No, I miss my boy.
Yeah, Cuervo, I haven't forgot about you.
Mario, I still miss my boy, man. Don't come at me sideways. I almost hit somebody over Jameis last night. I celebrated Jameis throwing a touchdown pass against the Bucs in the divisional round. Like I will never turn my back on my quarterback. Get out of here.
Cuervo's getting a high and tight. He should be with us here fairly quickly as we hit the top of the hour. I'm glad that you contacted me. Whenever you want to let me know. I'm going to add you to the other one because you're actually on another one. And so I went back and looked and realized that when I'm sending out the invites, they're not actually going to you. You're not on that list. You're on another one that I have set up. So I'm going to put you into the other ones where you can hop in and jump in with us anytime that you want to.
We've done so many different ones and so many different platforms at this point.
Jeez,
radio,
now we're putting our ugly mugs out up on the screen. Especially yours. Oh my God, what the hell happened? Now, by the way, you said you had COVID. Did you? Is that what you said?
Oh no, during quarantine, just during all this COVID quarantine, I was like, no, I'm not. I mean, I did, but that's not why I grew out the hair.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, like I did have that, but I started growing. Like, what was it? When the lockdown started in March, I decided, well, I'm not cutting my hair.
Let's make it that's
And my facial hair grows so slow that I actually trim this about like once every 6 weeks. So it's ready to get trimmed. But since like the Bucks haven't lost since I trimmed this,
so
I figured I'd just let it go. It's like a playoff beer in hockey. You just kind of let it ride. And well, think about this. I haven't gotten a haircut since February. In that time, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, the Rays won the pennant, and the Bucks have made the Super Bowl.
Unbelievable what's going on in that area. And by the way, just to let you know, and with you being in the Tampa Bay area, the person I'm going to mention, I don't reach out to very many guests. Okay. I just don't. All right. I know you might have saw Tom McManus, from the Jaguars on there. I'm actually going to see, and she's been ill, but I'm trying to get the fabulous sports babe back up on the show. I've had her many years ago, but she's been ill, so trying to get Nancy on it's one of the hard things. Nancy and I go back years and years and years. We go back then when she was she was the only woman talking sports talk radio back in the 90s. So I love me. Now she's kind of softened a little bit over the years, but she's still always good to have on. And she, so I'm going to try to get her on and let you know when she comes on, because that'd be good. Oh my God. Guess what? Here he is. I'll bring him on. There's your boy.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Let me see that hat. Is that the old Buccaneer hat?
Yeah, it is. That's the best looking one out of them all.
Right.
I gotta take that thing out of there.
That's how you know you're real. When you got the creamsicle on.
Yeah, the creamsicle working. Right, that's right.
I own 3 Bucks hats. This creamsicle, Bucko Bruce on a white, and then the Super Bowl hat from 2002. That's it. I don't have another Bucks hat.
If they win, you need to get the new.
I am.
Huh?
Which, by the way, that 0-2 Bucks defense, to me, in my opinion, that is the
Tony Dungy
second greatest defensive.
Tony Dungy.
No, Monty Kiffin. That's Monty Kiffin.
Monty Kiffin, yeah.
Oh, okay.
don't give Tony all the credit for that. He didn't build that entire thing, and that wasn't his scheme. But no, I mean, look, and it's funny because everybody kept asking me this year because look, I'm a self-hating Bucks fan, right? Like, I root for the losingest sports franchise of all time, so I make fun of my own team all the time. I bought into this defense right away. I love this defense. Defense is what gets me going. It gets me excited. And it was just slowly coming around to this offense that has been an experience. I mean, it's been look. I was certain that we were going to lose last week. I was like, oh, the Bucks are going to blow an 18-point lead in the NFC Championship game. That is fitting. That is extremely fitting. Brady's just going to throw pick after pick after pick. We're down to our backup safeties. This defense is going to melt down because there's nobody in the back end. That's fantastic. And then our defensive ends decided that we got other plans. We'd like to get out of the cold and go back home and actually play a game. I went past the stadium a couple times yesterday. And I can't tell you like how this is one of the most amazing things to be able to drive, like to hang out at Raymond James Stadium with the expectation of, oh, my team's playing a Super Bowl here. Like we're defending our home turf to win a championship.
Oh, speaking of the home turf, I mean, can you believe the crap the NFL is doing? This is the biggest joke ever. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, if you earn the right to have the home game, you should be able to have the home thing. They're not letting them fire the cannons after a touchdown when they score.
That's the Chiefs' fault. We asked the Chiefs. We said, hey, we asked the NFL, and the NFL said, ask Kansas City. We're like, okay, fine. So we called Kansas City, and we're like, hey, can we fire off the cannons? Kansas City's like, no, that's not fair. We're like, are you serious?
Yeah, no shit. I didn't know that. Well, hold on, though. The NFL is.
I got one question about that, though.
Yo.
Yeah, go ahead.
So considering that it's the Super Bowl, even though it's in Tampa, and even though that the Buccaneers are playing, would the cannon go off for both teams?
No.
Would it
Well, then no wonder Kansas City was crying about
it. At a neutral site. Because if let's say this game was being played in, let's just say for shits and giggles, let's put them in the Dome in New Orleans, at a neutral site, they'd be making the noises. I mean, they'd have all that there. They might not have an actual cannon, but they would be doing something celebratory after a score, So I'm missing this.
Well, so funny story. We have a thing called Gasparilla, where we set off cannons on pirate ships to celebrate pirates. I know it's Tampa, it's amazing, and we're getting all of the They apparently got cannon guys to set up because the Yankees spring training complex is right across the street. They're getting somebody set up over there to fire off a cannon every time the Bucks score.
Right.
So we're going to fire off cannons. It just may not be in the stadium. I said fire off the cannons on the ship. What's the NFL going to do? Fine you? Who cares?
Take it.
You only get to do this once.
I agree.
Look, and here's the thing. Kansas City's going to come down to Tampa, and their fans are going to want to do the war chant, which their war chant is a recording of my school. Okay? My school's band doing it. I hate to break it to you, but when you come to the state of Florida, the only people I do the war chant wear garnet and gold, not scarlet and yellow. So get up out of here with your mess, right? I'm not here for it. Now, I've seen a lot of Chiefs fans this week. They've been very nice, courteous people, a great fan base to run into. I did the NFL experience yesterday, and COVID kind of has that thing.
By the way, with the COVID and everything, was it worth it?
It's pretty restricted, and they had it fairly spread out. From what I understand, if you could go to the main one, it was a pretty cool experience. I had a buddy who wound up at the main one where you got to see the Hall of Fame busts and everything, but it was so hard to get into that one.
I imagine.
Just because there's a your tickets have a timestamp and there's a restriction on this and that, whatnot. I was like, look, I'm not trying to get somewhere at 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
You're still young enough to where you're sleeping until noon.
Yeah. So
how many people are going to be in attendance there? I heard somewhere about in between 12 and 15,000.
Stadium 65 and it's 25% of that.
Oh, okay.
That number comes out to. I know a bunch of people who are going to the game. Considering that tickets, the tickets like $6,000.
$6,000?
Yeah, and you have to buy them in blocks of 4. So it's been kind of a hard Super Bowl to get a hold of. I mean, there was a lot of tickets that were donated to first responders through the 3 major hospitals in the area. So we're gonna have a lot of nurses and whatnot at the game, which is whatever. I mean, we weren't really a COVID region as much as the media wants to tell you that. So it's we'll have a good crowd in there. There's gonna be a lot of Bucks fans in there. I would say that the crowd's not going to be as 50-50 as you would hope, considering the limited capacity.
Yeah, 14,000. I pulled out the calculator.
Yeah.
So wow.
So and a lot of people didn't really travel in for the game, from what I've been told.
Right.
The hotel industry down here seems to have kind of slowed up a little bit, and I know the restaurant and bar scene is a little slower than they anticipated. So all the perks of hosting a Super Bowl in an area like Tampa, we haven't really seen. So, I mean, I'm glad the Bucks are in it. That's a reward, if you will. And if the Bucks win it, I will always be able to say we're the only team to defend our home field. As much as all I'm going to hear is, "Oh my God, look at what Tom Brady did." Like, yep, there's not 52 other guys on this team. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady went out there and played defense, and he kicked the football and everything. Tom Brady, man, he's the coach. He does it all. You don't need the rest of the team. It's just top like.
Well,
anyways, yes, I'm very glad to have him.
All right, I'm going to defend it. Okay? Nobody in NFL history's got 7 rings. If he wins this one, hell, there's only one. No, I don't even think there's anybody that's got 6. I think Haley has 5.
Not in football.
Yeah, not in football, but Haley has 5, and I think obviously he's one past Haley. So never mind that it's 7. He would even if he throws for a $185 and 2 touchdowns, and that's the running game, which is what I think will end up happening in reality. Looking at the game. It still has to be about him because listen, it's 54th Super Bowl. Okay, he's been in 10 of them. Okay, there's coaches, there's ownerships that haven't been as many as Tom Brady. In reality, even to that point, the only reason why the Patriots are there is because they went and lost to the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20. So they've yeah, exactly. They've been there the same amount as Brady, but it's got to be about Brady. It's the cornerstone of what this league is. Now, granted, I don't necessarily always like the fact that they're talking about it, but when you got a guy doing what he's doing, even if they wheel him out on a wheelchair, they need to probably give him his props and a lot of it too. By the way, and I know that gets old, especially with the haters out there.
It's not like I respect Tom Brady. He's obviously been an amazing quarterback. I mean, just there are things Brady could do with as smart, as quick as he gets the ball out and as smart as he is in dissecting the field at times. I mean, he was really fun to watch. That 07 Patriots offense is going to be one of the more fun offenses to ever watch. I mean, him and Randy Moss, Wes Welker, just tic-tac-toeing defenses left and right. And it's a team sport though. And that's what always bothers me. It's a team sport. Like basketball, it's a team sport, but it's 5 guys. One guy can make a difference, right? Like, you take Michael Jordan off the Bulls and replace him with an average 2 guard. Like the Bulls probably aren't as good, but they could probably still contend with Scotty and whatnot, but like they definitely don't
Whoa.
What?
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you're definitely
I'm about to say, like, come on now. But like I look at Tom and I see, early in his career, like 01, that was a great defense. Huge pick 6 by Ty Law that flipped that game against the Rams. Also, you were recording their practices in New Orleans. We all know that there's tapes. Come on. Like, you taped their walkthrough. That's fine. That's still out there. But like, you watch the Patriots game, the Super Bowl against the Panthers, where Brady has this amazing game, right? And the one against the Eagles, where like I want to say that Super Bowl was incredibly boring, and yet it was a great game at the same time. But again, the defense stepped up that day with Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison making multiple interceptions. You had 07 where they fell apart. The Super Bowl against the Rams. Did Tom Brady win that? I mean, are we serious, y'all? They scored 13 points. Like Wade Phillips, I feel so bad for Wade Phillips. He held Tom Brady to 13 points and lost because Jared Goff just melted down, right? I mean, the Super Bowl against the Falcons. Yep. Tom Brady won that game, no doubt about that. I mean, when he threw that first touchdown in the second half, I said, "Uh-oh, Atlanta's going to lose to Tom Brady. He's about to lead this massive comeback." It was like, "You're crazy." No, I'm not. I've seen this song and dance. So, like, look, I get it. Tom Brady's awesome, but there are other times where I look at it and I'm like, can somebody else get credit? Like, can we give Belichick credit for the amazing game plan he schemed up for this game? Can we give this stacked defense credit with guys like Ty Law, Lure Malloy, Rodney Harrison, Eddie, Richard Seymour? Like, I mean, even when like everybody goes, Tom Brady's never had offensive talent. Well, God, don't tell Randy Moss and Wes Welker that they suck. Like, don't tell Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski that they're garbage. Aaron Hernandez, I mean, God, we all know what he was. He was a pretty damn good player too. I mean, Troy Brown.
Hold on, Jonathan. Let's be honest. Now, I know Hernandez was a good football player, and I know Gronk is too. Okay, but really, you're talking about Edelman, you're talking about Welker, and these guys. Listen, there's a reason why they are household names. Okay, if it wasn't for Tom Brady, they wouldn't be household names. I'm sorry, they wouldn't.
Well, I mean, Wes Welker was pretty good in Miami. That's why New England paid a heavy price to steal him from the Dolphins. The Dolphins were too stupid to hold on to him. Come on. Rob Gronkowski. If Rob doesn't have a back injury, he's a first-round pick. He fell to the Patriots because he had a back injury. Aaron Hernandez fell to the Patriots in the 4th round because everybody knew he was a thug. Like, it's true. He was supposed to go in the he had a second round grade, but everybody knew he was part of the Crips. Like, come on, like Tom Brady's had talent. Yes, they had no talent the last couple of years. You could tell from the offense, but now he's in a super stacked offense. I mean, you could have thrown Nick Foles in this offense, and he would have had a great year. And I said that just to make fun of Cuervo.
We're probably getting rid of him, by the way, from the rumors I hear.
Look, the Eagles are stupid. I mean, look, congratulations. I mean, you're getting a broken Carson Wentz. Good luck with that. Carson Wentz isn't good.
I hope the NFL vetoes that trade. Please, for the love of God, veto that trade.
Yeah, because
that's all I'm going to say.
Because you guys definitely should trade another first-round pick. That's exactly what the Bears need to do. But like, you know, it just bothers me that Tom gets all the credit in the team sport. And I get it. I've never played quarterback, so like, I'm not used to being the guy. But like, I've always been a softie for the lines. Like, I played all line and D line for most of my youth, right?
Yeah.
So like, I always have a soft spot for the lines. And every time I turn around, I'm like, wow, nobody wants to talk about how that offensive line did a great job for Tom Brady. Or wow, nobody wants to talk about how good that defensive line was for that defense that held the Rams to 3 points. You know, like, it's just frustrating to me that like there's no team credit in this situation. The Bucs were a very good team. I mean, last year, look, Jameis threw a bunch of picks. That was to be expected. Every quarterback in the first year of Bruce Arians' system throws a bunch of picks. Go ask Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, Big Ben. They all threw 20+ too. And then he breaks his hand at the end of the year. You could see the upward trajectory in this team. Like, we just needed a quarterback who was comfortable and competent in the system. And Jameis could have been it. Brady is it. You know, I mean, it's not like Brady was the missing piece. And I think that's what bothers me more than anything is that there was a youth movement. There was an actual team development and a team build happening that got thrown away so we could ring chase. I mean, in 2 years, I don't think anybody understands that in 2 years how bad the Bucs are going to be because there's going to be a talent exodus.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way Brady does this past next year for us. He'll leave.
Do you think he'll leave?
Yeah.
If you don't think he'll be back next year?
No, I think he's back next year. I don't know what the team looks like next year. We're already hard up against the salary cap.
Yes, you are.
And the salary cap's going down, so we're going to have some problems. I mean, look, Gronkowski's going to come off the cap. That'd be cool. That's $9 million freed up. There's no way we bring him back for a second run.
If they win the Super Bowl and he's a part of it, he'd be back?
We don't bring Gronk back for a second run. Not at $9 million. Not at $9 million.
Well, hold on. Gronk doesn't need the money. Okay. All right. Listen.
Cool. Then take league min. I'll bring you back at league minimum.
Well, no, not league minimum.
Well, hold on. If he doesn't need the money and I don't have the money to spend.
You give him $5 million, he'll be back.
I'm not giving him $5 million. I can't afford it. I got a $6 million tight end in Cameron Brate. I got a $4 million tight end in OJ Howard. I don't need $20 million tied up my tight end room. Gronk can getting on. All right, you gave me 4 games this year. He wasn't good this year.
No. There's no question he wasn't like Gronkish.
So I don't want to bring him back. Go back to retirement. Go back to being a frat boy at the age of 33 because it's really cute. It's really, if you can't tell, I don't like Rob Gronkowski. But
listen, I thought I had some hate for guys. It sounds like you've got a little hate there for Gronk. Explain your hate, I guess, is what I'm trying to. Why do you hate Gronk so much?
Because he acts like a 7-year-old douchebag, and everybody thinks it's cute.
I got it.
It's not. Like, there's nothing cute about being a stupid frat boy. There's nothing cute about that.
I mean,
like, you're a grown-ass man. Pretend you're responsible.
He was going to wrestle, so you're like...
Like, look, I like Tom Brady. I don't like he gets all the credit. I never thought Leonard Fournette was that good. I mean, I know you weren't exactly his massive fan either. LaShawn McCoy throws women out of buses, so I don't like him. Antonio Brown abuses women. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Gronk acts like a douchebag frat boy. Don't like him. I don't like OJ Howard, but that's actually Jason Light's fault, and I need to rectify that because, like, I thought we shouldn't have drafted him. And I shouldn't dislike somebody because we drafted him and I didn't want him, but that's the situation we're at. I don't like our left tackle because he's a race baiter. Who else? I don't like Ndamukong Suh because he likes to step on people.
Yeah,
like, that's a pretty scumbag move. I don't like William Golston because he likes to punch other guys in the gizmos. Like, that's a scumbag move. I think that's it on my own team. I'm pretty sure that's it. I may have to go through the roster at another time.
Yeah, you'll think of one.
Because, like, I love most of my defense. It's just the two linemen.
Yeah, what about the guy with the missing finger?
Love Jason Pierre-Paul. He's from Tampa, went to USF. He's a Florida guy. Like, he did a dumb thing. I get it. You blow off some fingers. That's pretty damn stupid. But he's been a really good person for the community.
But he did that to himself.
He did.
Yeah.
And he rectified that, though. He does so much good stuff with kids in the community and whatnot. I love Jason Pierre-Paul. Jack Barrett's been a great representative of the franchise as well. Devin White, Vita Vea, and Levante David. Levante David is the next Bucs jersey I'm buying. He's been a captain of this franchise for multiple years. He's never in trouble. I mean, he doesn't speak much, so it's very reminiscent of Derek Brooks and the whole quiet leader aspect.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Levante David has played at an all-pro level for multiple years for us, has been a great leader of this team, a great leader of this defense. Love Levante David. Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean, and Sean Murphy-Bunting have, like, young, dumb cornerback mistakes on the field. They've done nothing wrong off it. Antoine Winfield Jr. has been great for us. I know Jordan Whitehead. Well, knows a strong word. I've met Jordan Whitehead. I've spoken with him. Met him a couple times, met his parents. Great guy. I mean, one of the best customers I think I've ever had at a restaurant with as pleasant as he was, considering that I did the whole, you look familiar. You play for the Bucs? I mean, the best part is he was like, how do you know who I am? And it was because it was right after the draft. I was like, well, I'm kind of a football fanatic and like you were really good in college. So, but like this defense for the most part, I can get behind and I can love. And the offensive line, 4/5 of it is absolutely fantastic. I love Cameron Brate. I like Mike Evans. He can be frustrating because like he vacillates between like being awesome and being really dumb. Chris Godwin's awesome. Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson are great. Ronald Jones is great. I mean, I like most of this team. That's just we did a little selling our soul to the devil this year.
Well, you did that. Listen, it's almost like the Yankees buying championships. It's the reason why they did it. And listen, as much as I'm a Jaguar fan, I hated Leonard. I hated the running back.
Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette. Couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand him. I'm glad that he's got to come to Jesus, though.
He did.
He got to come to Jesus to realize that he's playing with the GOAT. He's playing with some of the best players in the NFL ever. He was lucky to have what he had. 3 years ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense was one of the best in the NFL. And then, their thinking just went sideways. And he was part of that thinking as well. And then he got to come to Jesus when he had the opportunity to go to the Buccaneers. I think I would have played for free with the opportunity to play with Tom Brady, so at least he was smart.
I mean, even then, though, he had this maturity moment later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
When he first got here, he was kind of a little bit of a grouch. I think once Ronald Jones had that 98-yard touchdown run against Carolina, Fournette went, "Oh,
better wake up."
Got it. That's why I'm sitting behind him. It's Ronald's pretty awesome, man. Like, let Rojo work. Like, so I mean, Leonard's been great for us. They make a great thunder and lightning tandem.
Yeah.
The only problem is neither one can catch. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
This Bucs team for the most part is lovable. It's just, some of the guys on it, it is what it is. I mean, look, I can't stand my offensive coordinator. He's an idiot. I can do the job better than him. Anybody in Tampa will tell you I can do the job better than him. I love the defensive coordinator.
Leftwich.
Whoa.
Byron Leftwich sucks as a play caller.
Because he was a Jaguar. You got to watch what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
Byron Leftwich Jaguars jersey.
Hey, Okay, listen. I'm a
I had
Jaguar
the
fan.
jersey.
I was never a believer in Byron Leftwich. Never.
I got a question for you, though, Jonathan. After Sonny's done going off his soapbox, I got a question for you.
Cuervo, speak.
Yeah, he's there.
So,
he's listening.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm off camera because I'm organizing my garage for my small gathering today.
But those small gathering less than 9 people.
It's going to be less than 9 in one room. So there you go.
One room. I
in
get
one
it.
room at a time.
Right.
Hey, so all right. So 2 questions. So if I heard you correctly, because I wasn't even sure. So the cap is moving to 180, right, for teams. Is that more or less?
Oh no, it's less. The cap is
a lot less.
Really?
The cap is going down basically. Guess what? The NFL teams, guess what, Cuervo? They lost $4 billion. Listen, my heart pumps for the NFL.
It's like a $20 million drop per team.
So hold on. So what you're saying is it's the franchise's fault that we hit a global pandemic, and it's the franchise's fault that the NFL lost $4 billion. Was that what you're telling me?
No, are you talking to me?
I'm talking to either one of you.
No,
I mean, so
go ahead, Jonathan.
I'm going to say the salary cap's just based off the revenues.
Revenue.
So they just do the division of that.
Right.
I mean, look, could they do what the NHL did and essentially take out a loan, cap where it's at? Yeah. Would that be smart? Yeah. I mean, look, the Saints right now are.
Yes.
Yeah, the Saints are projected to be $79 million over the cap next year. That's a hole you can't dig out of, especially the way these contracts are built now.
Well, Drew Brees is going to take a lot of that off their plate if
I mean, that depends on on what his dead cap is, considering that they seem to restructure.
Yeah, restructure. It's going to go from 24 million to 1.
If they cut him post June 1st because he retires, that means he's 11.1 million dead cap. So they only save $1 million.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing that was talked about yesterday, was that Breeze was going to restructure and his salary is going to go from 24 or 25 million to 1. But anyway, my other question though for Jonathan right now was you were talking about Evans and Godwin just now, right?
Yeah.
And you were talking about the team's not going to look the same 2 years from now, in your opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So as a Bucs fan, and coming from the franchise's standpoint, which one would be economically smarter to do? Do you keep Evans or do you keep Godwin?
Oh, wow. I mean, because
I don't think you can keep them both.
Well, if they don't sign Gronk at the money you're talking about,
Still, and that is true, Sonny. But I think both of those guys are going to be asking for big paydays, considering the numbers they're putting up.
Yes and no. Okay, because it's almost like a come to Jesus. Everybody in Tampa who was there before Tom Brady walked in the door, okay, realize where that franchise was before he got there. Say whatever you want about Tampa Bay and where they are today, and you might or might not like the fact that it's Tom Brady really in reality that helped them get to that point. Those guys that have been there that are superstars, if they want to move forward and they want to do this again, they realize they're gonna have to probably not get those big paychecks this year. Now they might be able to work out some kind of deal to where it would benefit them on year 2, year 3, year 4. But next year, if they want to keep that intact, they're going to have to keep that number down. And I don't think that they're too lost to that, especially if they don't win this year, Jonathan.
Well, I mean, look, Mike Evans is under contract for the next 3 seasons. Chris Godwin's a free agent after this one. So, yeah. Look, I'd like to keep Godwin. I think you can move him around a lot more than Evans.
Yes.
Godwin can play inside out. Evans can only play out. But Evans is the one that's got the contract. Chris Godwin, unfortunately, is probably going to wind up going somewhere else. Unless we can find a way to clear up money. Because I love Chris Godwin. He's been a great member of this team and of this community since he showed up. Great representative of the franchise. Does a lot of stuff for elementary children in the local area. I mean, I would hate to lose him because he's such a likable guy.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. I'd rather have Godwin. That's just me, though.
But we'd have to trade Evans at that point. Like looking at it, the Bucks cap number for next year right now is at 156. So roughly they'll have 24 million to play with. You got to factor in the draft pool, which is usually around 12 million. So then they have enough room to like re-sign just Godwin. I mean, look, the smart thing to do is to cut Donovan Smith at left tackle and save the 14 million and go ahead and draft one. But they're probably not going to do that as much as I think that's a better idea considering you overpaid him for what he's actually worth. And then like you should probably figure out which tight end you're going to keep, which means finally trade OJ Howard. I mean, Jason Light, people want to give Jason Light all this credit. A, Tom Brady picked you. B, Bruce Arians picked you. You didn't pick them. They picked you. You didn't even have to sell yourself. They said, screw it, I want to live in Tampa for a year. Or I want to live in Tampa for 3 years, whatever, right? Like, let's not pretend that this man drafted OJ Howard when we didn't need another tight end. Like, that was dumb, right? You had all these other needs. You're like, what if we take the tight end? Why would you take another tight end? And then when the tight end requests to trade at his peak value, you don't trade him. And then what happens this year? He tears his Achilles. So now he has no value. Good job, idiot. So, I mean, look, this franchise is screwed no matter what. Jason Light's still the general manager. He's going to keep making bad decisions, I think that's why I want the Bucks to win as badly today as I do, is because I know that it's going to be another 20 years where I get to see something cool in Tampa again.
So, I mean, you think this is their one shot, or do you think they have enough to keep the team intact next year? Yeah, I mean, I think there are going to be some cuts made. Some I don't know if dead weight's the right word, but guys that you don't necessarily need, like you said, OJ Howard. Maybe do you cut ties with Shady McCoy? Do you really need him?
He was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so I mean, he's probably gone then after this year. This is going to be his chance at a ring tonight. So, you get rid of him. Like you said, Howard is gone. You keep Brait. You try to restructure with Gronk or whatever you got to do to keep him as cheap as you can.
Let Gronk walk. He was on a 1-year deal. Look, we have 2 major free agents. That's Shaq Barrett and Chris Godwin. We can all honestly only afford one. But everybody's going to tell me to keep Gronk. He did shit all year.
Here's the thing, though, Jonathan. The reason I say that, and I think a lot of people say that, is because of the same reason that Gronk decided to come back to play football. It's because he want to hang with his boy Tommy.
That's fine. He can hang around the building and not be a player and take up my salary.
You know what? You convince freaking Tommy boy that's my thing.
Look,
it's not that the Bucks are spoiling Brady, but we all know that. Look, Brady he wanted Gronk with him in Tampa, and I don't think it's for a 1 year.
We traded a draft.
I think that's.
Like, think about how dumb
I understand.
That was.
Well, I mean, you didn't give up that. I mean, you guys didn't give up much to get him. So
it's a 4th round pick and $9 million. We gave up plenty.
I thought it was like a 5th or a 6th. It was a 4th rounder?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay.
I know.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else then.
I told you, our GM's stupid.
hey, no, I'm gonna tell you something. I think Ryan Pace is gonna say, "Hold my beer" here in a day or two if he trades for Carson Wentz.
Well, there's a lot of dumb GMs. Let me tell you about the the Matthew Stafford trade where the Rams decided,
Oh,
you know
my
what's
God.
cool? We don't need draft picks. And you're like, I
you know what,
understand
though?
that. I love Matthew Stafford. I think he's awesome. I don't think you give up 2 first-round picks for him and go 7 years without having a first-round pick.
But that's the thing, though. And, Sonny and I were talking about it last week. That GM, Les Snead, for whatever reason, doesn't like first-round picks.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got a loose screw or two, but he does not like first-round picks.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean,
the guy's clearly an incompetent moron. Aaron Donald was a first-round pick, the best defensive tackle in the NFL. Why would you want another first-round pick to draft somebody that's really good?
Well,
you're trading first-round picks to get guys who are first-round picks when you could just take guys in the first round with your own picks.
But you know what that tells me, though? Is and Sonny, I don't know if you agree with this, but it almost tells me that he doesn't trust his scouting department. He doesn't trust.
Oh, he doesn't.
The way that the team drafts, period. He doesn't trust.
But that's his job.
But he doesn't trust himself. Then I don't know what to tell you. It's mind-boggling.
If that's his job, I don't know if, and this is also the same guy that ripped up Todd Gurley and Jared Goff's rookie contracts and gave them big boy extensions before the rookies were up. He is an incompetent general manager who he's left in a position of power because he did one of these, all right? And if you can't tell what I did off camera, that's your problem. To somebody's brother a long time ago, all right, and now he's in the NFL for life. Les Snead is an incompetent jackass. Ryan Pace is an incompetent jackass. Jason Light is an incompetent jackass. I just the amount of stupid GMs in this league is mind-blowing. It's not that hard to find a good GM. It's not that hard to find somebody who looks at a scouting department and says, you guys get paid to tell me if somebody's good or not. So I'm going to ask you, are they good? Yes. Oh, should I take them here? Yes. I shall draft them here. But then you have a guy like Les Snead who's like, I know the scouts said this tight end's a 4th-round value. We're taking him in the 2nd round because you always need 2 tight ends. Bro, what? Are you paying $20 million for 2 tight ends? Are you stupid? Are you mentally deranged? Come on.
All right. I want to try. Okay, I'm just going to try to defend the stupidity of the Rams. Okay, I'm just going to try. Now, I know I won't be successful, but I'm going to try. All right, first of all.
Oh, no, I got to get up to get a drink.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So here's the thing as far as that's concerned. All right, and I'm just going to take everybody out until they come back on, except Cuervo. But when I actually, when this whole thing went down, as far as this trade and the 1st-round draft picks, then I went and realized they had 7 years where they weren't going to get a 1st-rounder. So I asked myself the question, and I said to myself, son, why don't you look at 1st-round draft picks? Why don't you see how successful that 1st-round draft picks are? Why don't you go take the peek and ask, have they been so outstanding that you could live with or without them? Now, looking at the coach that's over there, listen, his name's slipping my mind, but
Sean McVay.
McVay. 2 things happened here with Sean McVay. Okay, first of all, the quarterback situation with Goff, okay, was a personal thing. I go back to LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Okay, I go back to this. It's never going to be until someone writes a book. But you remember when, or Leonard, it was Leonard, I'm sorry, that went where they were both on the same team and then the guy left. Was it Leonard or was it?
It's Kyrie.
It was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving made a statement in a very inappropriate way about LeBron James's wife. Okay? Or vice versa. More LeBron onto him or girlfriend, significant other. Same thing kind of happened over here with the Rams as far as Jared Goff and the coach's girlfriend, which, by the way, is one hot babe. Okay? So there was some inappropriate, and it got out too, which should have never happened, but it got out. And I think there was a big personal problem there with Jared Goff and the head coach. I really do. Even though they were having success early on, then they realized, well, it wasn't getting to where it was. And so this whole thing to get rid of them. Now, they're also thinking about the first round draft picks. Listen, unless you're a quarterback, unless you're an offensive lineman, all these guys, either are bust or minimal players. They're not great guys on a regular basis. So you got 32 picks that are coming out of that first draft, okay? The first round draft, okay? You would be lucky to get 7 or 8 of them to be good. So it's a hit or miss kind of thing, especially where the Rams would be, because they did win some games. So it wasn't like they were 2 or 3, 4 win games. These guys went 8, 9, 10 games, so they're really down there. So they weren't getting their guys. So I kind of get the reason why maybe the first round draft picks are not important. If you're a bad football team, I'd say this is a dumb one. As far as the Rams are concerned, they're looking for pieces to get to that point, because who knows how long the talent's going to stay there. Now, they, again, like you said, they paid Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, big boy money, and they didn't deserve it. It's almost like Jerry Jones signing Ezekiel Elliott, 3 years before he had to, and it was a great move, and it turned out not to be. So I think I get where it is, but as far as longevity for your franchise, to build the longevity of the franchise, I think you need those draft picks. But for the meantime, what they're trying to do, I don't think they necessarily need those if they can find the right pieces, because they have shown that they're willing to spend money, Jonathan. So I get what you're saying, but Matthew Stafford, that's not the guy that you trade 2 first-round draft picks and the third in this year, and Jared Goff, who, hey, by the way, listen, he's not a bad player. I've seen worse quarterbacks. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But if the relationship is bruised or not in good shape in Ram camp, why not try it someplace else? So I don't think it was a bad trade as far as value is concerned and everything. We're not going to get an argument there. But at the same time, the Rams have been a football team that have not looked at their first round draft pick and go, oh yeah, we got to have one of those. And that just within the last 3 or 4 years, and now they're stretching it out to 7.
I mean, I know they like to spend money, but they're out of money to spend.
Well, and depending on where they are as far as their tags and everything else, and
they're at $220 million in salary commitments already for next year,
and that's going to be how much over the cap?
40.
That's going to be a tough nut to swallow.
Like they're out of money to spend. First off, second off, this offensive line's been legitimately horrible for 2 years now, and
I agree.
You know it'd be pretty cool. You know it'd be pretty nice to have to reinforce this offensive line? Draft picks.
Yes.
Specifically, a first-round draft pick.
Specifically, offensive lineman, which is where...
Oh, my God. The idea that you could draft an offensive lineman in the first round instead of the fourth, and the guy in the first round might be better. I mean, look.
Absolutely.
I know it's a crazy concept, but that's kind of the whole point of this shenanigan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the Rams GM's stupid. He traded 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford, who was a first-round pick. He traded 2 or 3 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey, who was a first-round pick, who, by the way, he could have drafted, instead took Jared Goff.
That's a good point.
And Jared Goff, for those of you who, didn't know, has never been that good, was always scheme-dependent. The Patriots figured it out and broke him, and everybody's been doing the same thing. That's why everybody's like, oh, Jared Goff's numbers went down. Is he hurt? No. Everybody figured out he can't read a defense.
That's a
He's
problem.
never been able to read a defense.
So, I don't know. It was a bad trade. There is no question about that.
I love Matthew
Especially
Stafford.
For franchise stability for the years, it was just a dumb. And like you said, even if they got the lower first round draft pick, you get the offensive lineman. I'm sorry. And the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, I'm telling you right now, for all my Dallas fans that are out there, the fact that the Dallas Cowboys that have not drafted offensive linemen for the last 3 years, you should be pissed, okay? CeeDee Lamb's a great player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but damn it, you need someone to protect your quarterback. You've seen that, third game. Adios, Mr. Because they don't have an offensive lineman. The Dallas Cowboys moved away from that idea, and they have been a mess ever since because they cannot protect their quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the same Cowboys team that you took Tyron Smith in the first round. You took Travis. Remember when they took Travis Frederick and everybody laughed at him, and he wound up being an All-Pro center.
He was a third rounder. I remember our show, Jonathan. We were talking about Travis Frederick as a third rounder.
Just baffled and bamboozled, and that they made us look stupid. And Zach Martin, who Jerry Jones is like, I'm drafting Johnny Manziel, and Steven walked over, took the draft card out of his dad's hand, and ripped it up. And said, you're an idiot. We're taking the best player in the draft. Hello, All-Pro Zach Martin. Like, that is one of my favorite stories, is Jerry Jones being all excited to take Johnny Manziel, and Steven's like, no, wet blanket time.
Yes.
More people should have wet blanketed Jerry in his life. Maybe he would
he'd be much better.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, I mean, Dallas needs to go back to that. I mean, look, we took an offensive lineman in the first round, and I was begging for it. We got Ali Marpet and Donovan Smith are second round picks. Justin Murphy was a first rounder. We bought Ryan Jensen in the free agent market, and we took Kappa in the fourth round. And Kappa and Marpet both with D3 schools, so like their development is just beyond means. Brian Jensen went to a D2 school, but the Ravens developed him. But you got to invest in your offensive line. I mean, that's the main thing here. And I look at a lot of these teams, and they don't do it. They continue to ignore it.
By the way, Tom McMahon said this in the show. He says, yes, defense win championships, but in reality, championships are won at the line. And if if you don't have anybody that can protect your quarterback, you're in trouble going through. Listen, until teams figure that out, such as the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, listen, if they don't take Trevor, they're just nuts. Okay, all right. So, but that being said,
Sonny,
start working that offensive line and because they're going to need to protect that cat too. So they're going to have to work the free agency and work the rest of the draft. Go ahead, Cuervo.
Go ahead. Hey, Sonny, real quick. So I just want to go off of what you were just saying. That's why all this talk about the Bears trading for, Carson Wentz or Deshaun Watson or, it sounds great and all, and it would excite a lot of Bears fans, including myself. But guess what? It doesn't mean anything if you can't protect him. You really want to really make an impact and improve this team. Go get me a lineman like a Larry Allen. Go get me a lineman like a Travis Frederick or a Zach Martin, like you talked about, or a guy like a Tony Baselli, who should be in the Hall of Fame, Sonny.
You guys don't deserve Deshaun Watson.
Deserve.
That
word.
You could have drafted him, and instead you took the stupid tall white boy because your GM has a fetish for white quarterbacks.
You know what, Jonathan? Do you really have to remind me about that? Do you really have to remind me
every day of your life?
That was not my fault.
I know it's not your fault, but you need to remember that your GM is too much of a racist to even draft Deshaun Watson, and that's why John Fox left.
Man.
So in other words,
I'd recommend it.
He's probably going to get fired if he makes this trade for Wentz. If he makes this trade for Wentz, I'm going to start a petition. I'm going to start FireRyanPace.com, and I want him out. I want him out.
Give him an extension. They're going to be like, he got a franchise quarterback, and he's going to sit there and go, look at this tall, statuesque white guy I got. And everybody's going to sit there and go.
Hey, guess what, Cuervo? I got news for you, okay? As far as that is concerned, it's almost a done deal as far as Carson Wentz going there. Why? Why? This is why.
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
Sonny.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
That's the one. Sorry, I haven't.
that's the winner.
That's the winner because
The Bears are who we thought they were.
because they do that all the time. Okay, what are they going to do? They're going to get Carson Wentz. They're going to have the Eagles pay a part of that stupid ass contract that he has. They'll be out of pocket $15 million, maybe 17 max, which they don't pay for quarterback. They're going to go back to that. Listen, Carson Wentz is guaranteed you will have him on your football team next year because that's what they want to get back to. Because why? Because it didn't work with Nick Foles paying him what was he, 23, 24 million?
I think 21.
Yeah, or something like that. So they're going to go back to that one. They're going to make the Eagles suck up about 4 or 5 million of it, and he's going to be a Chicago Bear. I'm telling you right now, that's who your quarterback will be next year. And then we're talking about a quarterback controversy, whether or not it's going to be Mitch or is it going to be Carson Wentz. I've already wrote the offseason for it.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be a competition between Mitch and Wentz, first of all, I want to see the trade happen. I want to see it with my own 2 eyes. I want to see it be official. Number 2, we got to re-sign Trubisky because we declined the 5th-year option on him. So
yes, that's true.
They're gonna have to re-sign him for a bag of potatoes or something because he's not worth much money. So
that just depends on how much he thinks of himself on a different football team.
God, this is depressing. Guys, my team's hosting a Super Bowl today. What? How did
you were
we
breaking
go
up,
down
Sonny?
this
I didn't hear what you
rabbit
said.
hole?
No,
Is this my fault? This might be my fault.
No, what I said, Cuervo. Well, geez, I almost forgot. What did I say? What did I say, Jonathan?
I don't know.
It was about.
The Carson Wentz is coming to town.
Yeah, the Carson Wentz. And that just depends on what Mitchell Trubisky thinks his value is somewhere else. He's going to be He's going to be fielding. Listen, there'll be teams out there looking for Mitchell Trubisky, not as a starter, but they'll want him. But it just depends on what can be paid for.
No, Mitchell Trubisky's lucky to get more than $1.5 million a year. That boy's garbage.
See, that's what.
Amen. Amen.
I agree with you that he's garbage, but if you only think he's going to get $1 million on his next football team, you're crazy. Okay, and I'll even
salary cap's going down.
What's your IQ, buddy? 0.
Salary cap's going down. Contracts got to go down. That's how this works.
I understand that, but
also he's garbage. Nobody's going to pay a bunch of money for a first-round bust to come in and be a backup when he can't even be proven to be a competent backup.
$5 million minimum. $5 million minimum.
All right, cool. So who's signing him? The Cowboys? Is that the Cowboys?
I'm gonna break this down for
any team was going to pay him $5 million.
Nah.
That will be the minimum that his services will be at. $5 million minimum.
Hold on. Hold on.
So he wants to. He's checking on me, but
hold on.
That's the great thing about sports.
I got wrong
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Hold on.
I'm listening, Sonny.
All right, so Chase Daniel.
Yes.
Okay, Chase Daniel got $5 million.
Yes.
No backup's ever getting $5 million again because of that.
Here's the thing.
Am I wrong?
Amen, man. Amen. Yeah, I'm gonna go to church next week because you're preaching right now. But no, for real though. Here's the thing. You know how teams always talk about, it's okay to overpay for quarterbacks. I get that, but it's not okay to pay for every quarterback, and it just seems like that's what the Bears do. Is they overpay for it. They'll overpay for anyone.
Man, y'all been chasing quarterbacks since Sammy Ball left.
Detroit's Daniels. Okay, so Detroit's not that much better.
I mean,
look.
yeah.
Hey, Jonathan. Here's the thing, and you can ask your grandfather, right? Your grandfather's a
Yeah.
Bears fan.
Yeah, he is.
Look. Let me tell you something. We had a good run with Jim McMahon back in '85. Okay.
I mean, you had a good run with Walter Payton back in '85.
Well, I mean, he's the GOAT. So there you go.
I mean, come on. Well, but come on now. Look, Jim wasn't a bad quarterback. I don't mean to bag on him. Jim was pretty damn good. I always like to go back to the Sid Luck.
Wait, did you just say Jim McMahon was a pretty good quarterback? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, for the '80s, just get
here comes the monkey.
Perfect quarterback to get his head beat in.
Oh my!
Here comes the monkey.
Coming. Hey, Jim McMahon's got more rings than Dan Marino. So obviously he's a good quarterback.
And also got to do as good as the Tampa Bay quarterback that's got a football ring. Okay, all right. I don't even want to hear that crap.
Wait, what? Are you talking about Brad Johnson? Brad Johnson's the greatest quarterback of all time. If you slander that man, I'm gonna smack the hair off your face. But last time Sonny insulted somebody, I hit him so hard his hair didn't come back from the top of his head. Don't make me take it up his hair.
But now that said,
you're making fun of Trent Dilfer. He's garbage. I'm willing to admit.
No, I'm not questioning whether or not he's not a good quarterback. I'm sorry, Jim McMahon was not a good quarterback. You want to talk about a system quarterback, that might be the definition of it.
Until tonight.
No, yeah, no, I'm just saying, Jim McMahon was fine. There was nothing wrong with Jim McMahon. He didn't lose games.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if I told you that Jim McMahon was the 1980s version of Alex Smith, a quarterback who's not going to lose you a game, who can run around and move around, and unfortunately had some really bad injury luck.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All the skills were there. It was just the system dictated don't do too much, right? And they got hurt, unfortunately. I think Jim McMahon's fine,
and in the case of Jim McMahon, they didn't need to do too much, okay?
Right.
Yeah. So
you have one of the three best running backs to ever look at a football field.
No, he's not. No, you're wrong. He is the best running back in NFL history. Okay?
I got a soft spot for Barry Sanders.
Well, you got a soft spot for him, but if he put in the time, then I would give it to him. I think I'm with you, but he didn't put in the time. As far as putting it, I love me some Barry Sanders. Lived up in Detroit.
You mean that guy right there?
That guy right there.
That guy.
I got an autographed photo of that too, but I got it for $20 because nobody knew who he was.
Oh,
that is a true story.
Yeah.
Sweetness.
8-year-old Jonathan walked into a pawn shop, saw a picture autographed by Sweetness, and said, "Yo, I'm gonna take that." And the guy's like, "Who is that? Don't worry about it. It's a football thing. I want it." $20. Walter Payton autographed picture.
Oh, man.
That's a steal if I've ever heard one, Jonathan.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't ever let that thing go.
My grandfather's got it sitting on his desk.
Good. Where it should be.
You stole that from a dummy, but it is what it is. But
I do that a lot.
But I will tell you, by the way, it is Super Bowl Sunday. All right. So, and not that I give a rip. We're near the 3-hour mark. I could go on for the next 2 hours. I don't care. So that's the reason why I love doing my show. I have no time restraints. So we're just going to go on. But as far as the game is concerned here today, Cuervo, we haven't heard from you. Okay, as far as what you think about what's headed your way in this game, so
Cuervo thinks the Bucs are going to win. Why would he think otherwise?
I got Jonathan down. I have Obie. He wants the Chiefs to win, but he doesn't think that's going to happen. It's Tom Brady. Bryce is on Tampa Bay as well. So right now, officially, no one has picked the Chiefs at all there. We just lost you. Bring your ugly mug back. There he is. All right. Well, better looking than mine. All right. So looking at this game, so let's get a prediction from you. What do you think about this game? Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, that's a flag.
Yo, I love that house divided flag.
Isn't that nice? You like that?
That's great.
Isn't it? Yeah. The old lady's a Bronco fan. We're have to have a discussion about that.
Man, you know what?
Anyway.
And you know what I haven't been good at is figuring out who's going to be a good quarterback, because I thought Drew Lock was the second coming. I thought he was going to be good.
Oh no, you guys were wrong again.
And then my worst one, Ryan Leaf. And then my worst one, Ryan Leaf. So.
Hey, yo, it is almost 4:00. I am in the city of Tampa. I am hosting a party with less than 10 people, of course. I need to actually go start making food.
Cool.
Sonny, I appreciate you having me on. Cuervo,
anytime, and I'm going to add you to that list, so you can come anytime.
If we win, you will hear from me next week.
Good.
If we lose, I may take a week off.
Okay. You're going to take a week off anyway, because we're going to be doing wrestling next week. So, yeah, but it's a local promotion I'm involved with.
No, I know.
So, but the next week we'll hear from you definitely.
So it's great to hear you guys. Miss talking to you all the time, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Hey, you already know. We got the big show in a couple of months with the draft. So.
Oh God, that's right. God.
Yeah.
The mega cast.
And plus, what I'll be able to put, the good thing about what we're doing now is the fact that I can throw things up so easily just with the push of the button like this. Matchups or anything else like that. So we'll be working on that as far as that is concerned. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love this program. It's good. So we're going to remain on it. Have yourself a good one, Jonathan. Take care.
Got
that hat. Good luck
to the creamsicle energy drink. Okay. All right. I've got to keep the creamsicle going today. So, with guys only, go Bucks. All right, boys.
Hey, and by the way, I'm going to bring you in for some hockey.
Oh, I mean, look, I'm a Lightning fan. I just want a Stanley Cup. I'm my second Stanley Cup.
I know. That's why I'm going to bring you in. So we'll dive a little bit in, because I've been watching a lot of hockey. So
my man, I love it.
Okay,
you got it. All right, my man. Take care.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
So Cuervo. All right. So we don't have the official pick from you. I got to get with DC. I'll talk to him before the game, but I think he's going Bucks. Sorry, he's going Bucks for DC. So right now, no one is on the side of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
In this house that has
She
needed to open the jar. So apparently I was the man with big mouth.
The lady has spoken. Apparently, I didn't even know she needed my help with something, but I didn't hear it. But
that selective hearing is perfect.
Oh my goodness. All right. She's got more muscle than me, is what she's telling me. Is there anything you want to say to Sonny regarding today's game?
Tell him I said you love Tom Brady. I know you do. And Tom Brady needs to just lose and retire. And hi, Sonny.
I hear it.
So apparently she believes that I'm infatuated with Tom Brady.
Well, you're not. You're not as much as I am. Because
you hear that? Sonny said I'm not as much as he is, because he's a Michigan guy.
Yes,
Sonny is. He's a Michigan guy.
So it does go back. It does go back, and it just happened. Yep.
And I'm the same way with Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? My love for Peyton started before he got drafted. It was back when he played at the University of Tennessee.
Yes.
So, where I went to high school. So, but yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts on today's game, Sonny. I've been watching, some matter of fact, I watched the Week 12 game this morning between. Oh boy.
Tell him.
I
told him how much you love Tom Brady.
I did not. I didn't say it in those words.
Every single game. I want Tom Brady to win.
I said I kind of want Brady to win so that maybe he'll retire and he'll go away. She took it as, oh, you love Tom Brady so much. Because you know how women like to twist words, right? So that's
exaggerate, right?
Prime example of what happened right there.
I want
Yes, so he can go away.
So he can go away.
Do
You
you
want him to win
realize?
so he'll go away.
Do
I
you
want him to win
realize
because I want him to get 8.
Sonny? You guys realize in the past 20 years he has been in half of the
Yes.
Super Bowls.
Yes.
It's time for him to go. It's time for him to go.
That's what I'm saying. Whether he wins or loses, he's going to be in another 3 years max.
Yeah, because he cheats, right, hon?
Anywhere.
Wait, say that again, Sonny?
Because he cheats, right, hon? Is that the reason why?
Yes, exactly. He'll cheat again to get to the Super Bowl. He's done it once, done it twice, done it multiple times. I mean, that's just Tom Brady legacy, you know?
That's right.
Go.
That's
the Bronco
great.
mouth herself.
Hey, at least she's better than most. But there he is again, making a great pass. I don't know. Nice pass right there. Yeah, he cheated on that one. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, what a great day! It's the NFL and it's Super Bowl Sunday right here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. By the way, I just so that you know, I was not doing any ads today, so we're just going to roll with this as long as we could. As far as that's concerned, I was hoping to get Brian Tarvin in here. I sent him a message, but I don't think we're gonna. But we had everybody.
Hey, Sonny, I don't know
Say
if you
it?
saw his message, but he's actually got Kansas City winning. He thinks Kansas City's going to blow the doors off. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it, and what got me on that was the blow the doors off of them.
Yeah, because I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any.
No. But I will say it could be a 10-point game because all it would take is someone not to match someone, and then before you know it, could be a 10-point game, and then you're out of the way. But all right, so looking at the game, who is your pick? What are you thinking in this one, and who are you officially going to go for?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think in this game, I think first. I think about it earlier. He was talking about the different defenses that each. It's going to come down for these teams are going to be the run.
Hey, Cuervo, you're really breaking up there. So I'm getting like every other third word. So I'm only getting about once every third. Oh, wait. There he. I think I got him.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Yeah, it sounds really bad. Yeah, it's real sad because my phone's about to die.
Sounds like you're trying to get some potato chips.
Yeah. So, like I said, running backs and tight ends, I think, are going to be crucial in this game. I think that when you think about the different styles of these offenses, with Kansas City, with Tampa, you've got big physical receivers with Godwin and Evans, and then you sprinkle a little Gronk and Cameron Braid on top of it, right?
Yes,
that's what you get with those two, or with the Tampa Bay offense. Kansas City, you're talking, they could put up 21 points in 2 minutes, and I'm not even exaggerating.
Yep.
So I think that's what you get with the Chiefs offense, and you're looking at that highlight right there of him throwing to Kelsey in the flats. I think that's what Kansas City is going to, try to do is maybe mix it up some. But so much focus is on Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, all the talk is about Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. I'm going to tell you something. If you're Tampa Bay, do not, by any means, kick or punt to McCole Hardman. You do not want to give this guy an opportunity to hurt you on special teams because he will. And any points that you give up on special teams, it is going to that's going to turn the game around no matter what point of the game it is.
Yep.
And so, and McCole Hardman is the guy that everybody's forgetting about because, obviously all the focus is on Hill and it's on Kelsey. They're getting Sammy Watkins back. Sounds like DeMarcus Robinson's going to be able to play. So McCole Hardman is the guy that everybody forgets about. So, excuse me. So that I think is the guy you need to watch out for on the outside. But I think really is going to come down to, like I said, are the tight ends and the running backs of these teams, because both teams are going to come after the quarterbacks, and they're going to come after them a lot. In the Week 12 game against against each other, Sonny, I want to say it was Kansas City that blitzed. You ready for this number? Kansas City blitzed 44% of the time on defense.
That's a lot.
That's a Steve Spagnuolo defense, and that's not common for a Spagnuolo defense.
Right.
So I think that you won't see 44% blitzes today, just because I think you don't really want to gamble again and allow Brady to hurt you that way.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's going to come down to which backfield is going to be able to pick up blitzes better, and which tight ends will be able to help chip on the line. So with that being said, I think that when it comes to that all together, I think the advantage goes to Tampa,
right?
Because they've got bigger running backs with Fournette and Ronald Jones. They've got Gronkowski and Cameron Brate. Travis Kelce is no slouch. Don't get me wrong. And I think Tampa Bay is going to have to run a lot of cover 3 and 4, just like Jonathan said, because what you don't want is Kelce to hurt you on the seam routes, because that's where Mahomes is going to be looking for Kelce, I think, today. And so Tampa's going to have to, play that cover 4 defense, close up those seams, and double team Tyreek Hill at all times. Because that first half, you go back to that first game, Sonny, in the first half, Tyreek Hill torched that single coverage, if you remember.
Right.
And so that's what I think Tampa needs to do on defense. Kansas City, I think really, in reality, I think Kansas City could actually get away with playing man coverage. And I say that because, yes, those receivers are big and physical, but they're not very fast.
Right.
And so I think Kansas City could get away with playing man coverage, but as long as you get that safety help. So whether it's a cover 2 or even hell, if you want to take a gamble, go cover 1. Go cover 1. Just don't do it at the end of the half like Green Bay did and let Scotty Miller beat the top of the defense.
Good point.
But I think those are the type of defenses you'll see in both teams today. And I think it's going to be a real challenge for Tampa to be able to slow that Kansas City defense down, but they're going to have to open field tackle, Sonny. That is going to be the most critical part for Tampa Bay on defense. Is they're going to have to open field tackle, because if they let Hill or Hardman slip through their fingers, they're going to be gone for 6, or even Edwards-Helaire for that matter.
Yep.
Either one of those 3 can be in the end zone by the time you blink your eyes. So Tampa Bay is going to have to open field tackle. Guys like Murphy Bunting and Antoine Whitfield Jr. You guys were talking about Jordan Whitehead a little while ago. Dean, all those guys are going to have to, and I hope they've been working on it. I hope Todd Bowles has been working on open field tackling these past 2 weeks, because it's going to need to happen.
Especially with Tyreek Hill. Hey, Cuervo, listen, I can't stand the guy. I can't stand it, but I also recognize what he is. And I even hate to say this. All right. My pick is the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. I want Tom Brady to get number 7, and everybody knows I want him to. But I'm going to tell you the difference in this game is going to be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has been almost unstoppable for the last half of the season. Almost unstoppable. And not only that, where he gets the ball is what makes him unstoppable. He gets that ball in the open field. Forget it, Jack. That guy is going to pick up 40, 50 yards when you don't want him to. And that is going to be the key in this game. If Tampa Bay wins, it's going to be because they contained Hill. Everybody else is going to get them some. Kelsey's going to get them some. They'll get the balls to the other wide receivers. They'll get them some. But it's going to be the one guy that's going to bust it open, and it's going to come at the right time. And when the game is on the line, and if it's on Kansas City side, the game is on the line, they'll get that ball to Hill because he is a playmaker. We talk about it all the time on this show, Cuervo. What do you got to do? You got to get the ball to the playmaker, and the playmaker is Tyreek Hill. As much as I can't stand him, as much as a punk I think he is, I think he's going to be the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs are going to repeat, which hurts me because I really want to pick the Buccaneers. Like your lady said, I do. I want to pick them, and I'm going to root for them in reality. But I don't think there's an answer to Tyreek Hill. Everything else that Kansas City can throw at you, I think they got an answer to. Tyreek Hill is just a total different monster, and that defense is not seeing that on a regular basis, and I think that's what kills them today.
Yeah, and like I said, when he runs out routes, he's going to get double teamed. So I think the way to counter that, and I'm no offensive guru by any means, but the only way I could think of, Sonny, to be able to counter, having Tyreek Hill double teamed, is to throw some quick screens to him, and you allow the guys on whether you go three receiver sets to the left, to the right, whatever, and you let those guys block one-on-one and create space for Tyreek Hill. And I think that you'll see that between him and McCole Hardman, or even like in the video that you showed with Kelsey getting passes thrown to him in the flats.
Yep.
I think that's the way Kansas City is going to try to counter having Tyreek Hill double teamed on route running. So that's what I expect to see. Now, I will say this. I saw your post the other morning.
Sorry about that, but it went too slow. I'd hit that a couple of seconds ago. It's about the yakety yak, in reality.
And that's how Tyreek Hill is going to be effective in this game is Kansas City figuring out ways to get him yakety yak, because he's going to be blanketed the whole game. He's going to get blanketed, and so like I said, throw some
don't fall down.
Throw some screens to him, create space for Tyreek Hill. That's the way he's going to be effective. I saw your stats the other morning when you sent them about Tom Brady.
Yes, the Tom Brady stats. Yeah.
Look, and those are things to think about.
Those are telling. Those are telling about where. It says, number one, that Tom Brady is getting a feel of the game in the first quarter is what it tells you. And he's trying to figure out what he's going to do later on. But if you do that against this Kansas City Chiefs game, before you know it, it'll be 21-0. Then you're trying to get out of it.
Right. Yeah. And again, I mean, you're playing with fire when you do that against this Chiefs offense. I mean, they're just too fast. They're on a different level, Sonny. I mean, every position you've got speed everywhere. Even Kelsey, for a guy of his size, tremendous speed. So I think that's going to be the obvious big challenge for the Chiefs today. And I've been going back and forth. I'm even going back and forth right now, just talking about it. But I think are the Chiefs going to be able to overcome the physicality of Tampa Bay, and is Tampa Bay going to be able to overcome the speed of Kansas City? So now the question becomes, what hurts you more on the football field, speed or size and physicality? And I think in a game like this, it all depends on how you use it. So really the matchups are the guys that aren't even going to be on the field. It's going to be the coordinators. It's going to be Eric Bieniemy against Todd Bowles. It's going to be Byron Leftwich against Steve Spagnuolo. And who's going to win those chess matches?
One chess match to keep, and before you make your pick, because I want to give you something to think about this, just to throw you a curveball.
I like curveballs.
The offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs lost their left tackle. So that means you are going to see Patrick Mahomes moving around, and he'll be moving right away from the pressure that'll be coming. Look for Tyreek Hill on those slants across the middle on a specific place set up for that to make plays with his feet. I think he'll be running one way, Tyreek Hill will be running another, and I bet we see that. And if that happens, I'm going to get right on there and message you guys and say, look, I told you so. Because I think that's what this game is going to boil down to in reality. Is Patrick Mahomes moving out of the pocket, making plays out of the pocket, and going the opposite way of where he's running. And my brother said it at the beginning of the show. Patrick Mahomes can make every pass, regardless if it's sidearm, overhand, or even shuttle, or whatever the case may be. He can make those passes, and even on the run, he's going to be big. So now, how did I mess you up if I did?
No, Sonny. I get what you're saying. I think it's going to be very similar to what Aaron Rodgers runs with Green Bay. A lot of shotgun, quick, 3-step drop, throw the ball. And before the defense can even get their hands on Mahomes, I think that's the way to also counter the fact that they don't have their offensive tackles available.
Right.
But I think you're going to see a lot of fullback action for the Chiefs today because he's going to help with blocking schemes and stuff like that. And I can't, for the life of me, I can't think of the backup tight end for the Chiefs, but he's going to be critical in this game too, because Kelsey's going to be too busy trying to go out there and catch some passes. So the backup tight end for the Chiefs, for the life of me, Sonny, I can't think of who it is, but I'm sure Chiefs fans
Demetrius Harris, you got a guy you should be know of, Demetrius Harris.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know the Bears cut him before the end of the year. So, okay. Yeah, I know who that is. But so I mean, he's a guy that is going to have to help on that line, to help with blocking the bottom line. So, I think when it all's said and done, for because I got to get going too, Sonny. I got to get the grill going.
Company, I see.
I've been for the past couple days now. I've been on my mind. I've almost convinced myself to take Tampa, but I think I've talked myself out of it because I think speed is going to win over physicality today.
It's the hardest thing to coach too, Cuervo.
Yeah, you can't coach it, and so I think Mahomes goes back to back. I think Tampa Bay, considering that they have their full team next year, I think they'll be right back in it. But I think Mahomes gets it done. I think he goes back to back, and we start talking about Tom Brady's replacement as far as the amongst the greats in the game today.
Signed a 2-year contract with Tampa Bay, so interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. If he doesn't get the chance, I would foresee him going away if he wins today. But if he doesn't, I foresee him back. That's the kind of guy he is. So, and if he could get back to a second Super Bowl, I mean, not only has he already solidified that he doesn't need, the Patriots and Bill Belichick. It was never about the system. It was always about Tom Brady. He can even solidify it even more if he gets to a second Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it should be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Tom can say that he wants to play 2 more years, all he wants. But I think if he loses this game, I think he'll give it 1 more year.
Yeah.
He'll try to get the Buccaneers back in it.
Yep.
And then if they don't make it again, then I think it's really gonna be something that he weighs heavy on.
Yeah, and just one more thing to think about it. If they don't win the game, Cuervo.
Mhm.
The Tampa Bay defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, will be huge on a lot of people's landing spots still. So think about that as well. Win or lose, Todd Bowles, he may or may not be back in Tampa Bay as well. And that is a big reason why they're there today. So.
Oh, well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because the defense turned it up in the second half of that year.
Yeah, second half of the season. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I know the offense started clicking too and whatnot, but I think that my Tennessee showing. No, he's a Michigan Brady fan too.
Yeah, I want him to win. Don't get me wrong. I want Tom Brady to win. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I'll be rooting for Tom Brady, but my official pick is Kansas City. So yeah.
Yeah,
so.
I think I think it's one of those things where I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Tampa winds up pulling it off, but I think speed over physicality, and I think Mahomes finds a way to get it done.
Definitely. All right, my man. I know you got company. Let you go. And we won't be on next week. We'll be on the week after, unless there's something huge. And maybe we'll switch it and maybe go football and then wrestling. So we'll see what ends up happening there. All right, my man. All right, take care. Good. Oh, there's the spread.
Yeah, there's the cheese.
There's the cheese.
Yeah, got all the stuff for the for burgers.
Yeah, I can't show you mine. Mine's in the crock pot in the kitchen, and my camera's not movable like yours. Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah.
So I'll send you a picture of mine, so because I can snap a picture. But I'm having beef stew, so it'll be really good.
Okay, yeah.
It started off as roast. It started off as pot roast, and it's turned into the stew. So
no traditional pot pie this year.
No. That's for important days like Christmas.
Oh, on important days. Okay, gotcha.
All right, my man. Take care. Always good to see Cuervo. We'll keep up with you. And one more message from Dustin to let you know. Enjoy the game. You two do the same. So
yeah, you too, Dustin. I know he's going for Brady. There's no.
Oh, definitely. If he's a Michigan guy and he's not a show host, I'm even going for him. I want him to win, but my official pick has to go Kansas City. So, all right, my man. You take care. Always good to see you.
All right, Sonny. Take care. Enjoy the game.
Yep, enjoy the game, and tell your lady to not celebrate too much if they lose. So, all right?
I'll let her know.
You got it. All right, that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Everybody have a good one. Take care. We're out of here. Bye-bye.